All right. All right. Here we go. So, here we go with February State of the Grift update. Oh man. And various criticisms. So, let's start here. Houston Wade has a video from 2 hours ago. Clipped from a live stream yesterday. AMC, sorry, no Moass. Huh? What? I should have known.
Nil 21981. According to my calculations, AMC will be 30x diluted after the conversion, up to 50x, 57x dilution potential if A sells up to the new float after the reverse split. Why are people voting for this? How can we Moass? I personally don't think AMC can Moass. I think that's
Whoa. Okay.
potential of AMC to Moass is gone.
Hmm.
Now AMC Bigums when he was on Tuesday, he made a good point as to how Aron can use this to pay off debt and become on solid footing. But it's going to involve so much dilution that the shorts aren't going to have to worry about that anymore. Even if he does it the right way and he sells to retail. But remember, if this thing reverse splits, it becomes a $50 stock. But a lot of people's purchase price equivalent where they got in would be like $300. So they still lost a huge portion, lost 85% or whatever on the value of their stock, and that's not going to help them. They can get their cost average down by buying apes, but you have to buy a boatload to get your cost basis down. And right now, apes was above like $3 today, so the cheapness of ape is starting to approach the price of AMC. So if you didn't get in, a couple months ago, well, it's going to get much more expensive to try and get back on that.
Wait, so he's saying that there was truth to the "you better get in now" hype because it's going to be too late?
And
All
if
right.
Adam Aron doesn't do it the right way and he sells to hedge funds again, then the company's toast. They might pay off their debt, but the hedge funds will put their dudes in there and make them rack up a whole bunch more debt, and they're just going to short it down for $50 all over again.
What?
So it's either going to be a solid investment or it's going to be a dead investment. But I don't think the Moass potential is there anymore. Personally, I think that ship has sailed. They've done too many things to hurt the Moass of AMC. Sean Vasquez, per Mr. Donahue, George, Adam Aron gave Antera Ape at 58 cents. Now Antera up $500 million. How did that help AMC or retail investors? Is this a fact? I mean, it's at $3. So we're already at almost 6 times the price of what they paid for. And they paid, what, 100 million bucks? So I think 500 million is lowballing it. They're up a lot. And they'll be up a billion probably by the time it's all said and done, because that 50 cents.
So why couldn't retail investors 6x their money the same way? And I have the 13D right here from the Antera thing, and it says, what does it say? It's not the highlighted part. Uh, 106 million apes for an aggregate purchase price of 71 million. I thought it actually set the price somewhere. I think it was 58 point something cents. Uh, well, here's 58 cents here for 34 million, 35 million. And then they also noted the forward purchase agreement. Yeah. Part I have highlighted here, I was wanting to look up this the obligation of the issuer and entire capital to consummate the transactions contemplated by the forward purchase agreement is conditioned upon customary closing conditions, including the expiration or termination of the applicable waiting period under the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act of 1976, as amended, and the transaction is expected to close on the business day after the applicable waiting period has expired or closing. But I wanted to look up this Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act. I just never got around to it. So um, now it also says here, the issuer is required to hold a special meeting of the stockholders within 90 days, which we know when that is now, to amend the issuer's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to increase the number of authorized shares to a number at least sufficient to permit the full conversion of the then outstanding shares of Series A convertible participating preferred stock into common stock or to such higher number of authorized shares of common stock as the issuer's board of directors may determine. And B, amend the issuer's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to effect a 10-to-1 reverse stock split of the common stock. Uh, the reporting persons have agreed to vote or cause to be voted the private placement apes and initial apes and any additional apes and common stock owned or controlled either directly or indirectly by the reporting persons in favor of the charter amendment. So, this, and again, this is a Schedule 13D form. Filed by Intera Capital Master Fund LP. And of course, this came from the Edgar website, SEC. Okay, go ahead, Wade.
58 cents a share. If they
Houston,
had,
whatever.
they're worth $5-6. So yeah, so they'll be up $1 billion. And our hope is they don't sell it and then short it all down. But they've already lent almost all of it out. The number of ape shares that hit the available to borrow spiked 50, 100 million shares became available suddenly. So it's all being lent out. People are paying interest rates to Antera about it. They just can't sell for 90 days, which happens to be right around the time the vote's supposed to happen. So they could vote and then immediately just sell everything. And if they do, then Adam Aron, is going to try and sell shares, and then they're fighting the shares being sold by Antera and others. How many splits are there in AMC and Ape? It'll be one reverse split. So they're going to take AMC and Ape, merge them 1-to-1. So one Ape share will become one AMC. And then when they get all those shares all merged, then it's 10-to-1. So if you have 10 shares, bing, becomes one. That's what's happening.
Okay, all right. So now he said that they can't sell for 90 days. I didn't see that in here, but I didn't read the whole thing again. So that was a question we were contemplating in the chat in our Telegram group, which, by the way, let's just say there's a link to that in the description of the video. Everybody's obviously invited to come over and have general finance chats with us. We'd love to have you. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know here. Um, Intending to review their investment conditions. Reporting persons may in the future take such actions with respect to their investment in the issuer as they deem appropriate, including without limitation, purchasing additional or derivatives, or selling some or all of their apes or other securities or derivative instruments. engaging in hedging or similar transaction with respect to ape, and alone or with others, may engage in communications with directors and officers of the issuer. Such discussions and other actions may relate to various alternative courses of action, including without limitation those related to an extraordinary corporate transaction, including but not limited to a merger or reorganization or liquidation involving the issuer or any of its subsidiaries, business combinations involving the issuer, its subsidiaries, yada, yada, yada there. It just said the reporting persons may in the future take such actions. Selling some or all of their ape or other securities or derivative instruments. So it doesn't say 90 days. I mean, it doesn't seem like they would sell it within 90 days, not because they're not allowed to necessarily, but because that's all of it's going down in 90 days, but within 90 days. So anyway, let's see. Well, anyway, so Houston Wade does not believe in the Moass. Okay. Let's shift over to Lou versus Wall Street. Is that his name again? And why did it mute it? Just played something here. It's not muted.
All right, I'm doing this video because one of my peeps, Catherine, asked me to explain when am I looking to get in, yada, yada, yada. So I did this here. So, okay, work with me. I said I'm getting into ape on Monday. And people ask me, well, what do you think about ape climbing, whatever? I'm like, well, if ape just catches up to $3 and change to match AMC in the $6 range, that's a good profit. That's a good profit. Now, if it continues to run up, okay, because AMC is running up, this is even greater. But if the reverse split, I'm out because I already explained this could be all kinds of wildness in here. Now, there's no more ape. There's only AMC, and we're going to have the run. Now, I'm going to get back in this piece here, and this is where she asked me, well, how do I know when to get back in? Once the reverse split happens, you're going to have the set number. And at that point, after that set number is hit, if it starts to go down, looking at the volume, once that curve happens, and we might even have a drop. It might just go from this to run. But I'm going to try to get the lowest amount in this after this, and then take a stake in it for the run before this happens. The new shares drop. Now, based on what I've seen on what AMC did in June 2nd, what AMC did when they split ape and AMC, I think the danger zone is in the first level danger zone is in the 20s. That's when they split ape and AMC. And then to the higher side of it, anywhere from the 40s to 70s, because that's when they dropped on June 2nd.
Danger zone, huh?
Based on what they've done before.
We'll see what Kenny has to say about that. Logins, not Griffin. Couldn't help myself.
To stop a whatever run. But remember, they're not, the shorts are, by this time, the shorts have already solved their problem with ape. Ape was never for us. Ape was for the street and for AMC. So the danger is not really there. Now the danger for the street, the shorters, the naked shorters, the brokers IOU, is this part.
The naked shorters.
Because as ape is climbing up, it might trigger AMC to run. Why? Because if ape is expensive, buying ape to insure yourself from your AMC shorts becomes harder, especially with the cost to borrow, no available shares, yada yada. You can't use ape for AMC. So between now and the reverse, I think this is the real golden time for both. And then afterwards, you're going to have a run, I believe, because people are going to be buying in institutes, whatever like that, after the whole, whatever. But this is what I'm watching out for. Now, they're not going to drop new shares at a cheap price because this is a one-time drop. Okay, this is like a gun with one bullet. This is only one time. Okay, these new shares, when they drop them, they have to drop them at a level where it's going to make financial sense for this company. And since they're trying to solve debt and make money for themselves, this, I'm thinking, from the range of the 20s to the 50s, that's where I will have my hand on the Bible like, sweet baby J, take over, please. Because remember, they're not only voting for this, they're voting for these shares. So I hope this makes sense, because this is what I think is the sweet golden time for both stocks. I think on the other side, once this is already gone, this will still have a run, but it's going to have a run because it has to get to a high enough price for AMC to drop this. And by the way, it's not only AMC that's going to be, think about all the institutes when they start dropping their shares.
Well, you mean like they did with Ape? How they issued the new shares when it was at the high? Oh, wait a minute. They didn't. Oh, yeah. This is the golden zone here. Okay. You're going to have a run.
They know. Trust me. I'm about to say it but don't take it in the wrong way. I was one of these motherfuckers. I know what they're thinking. They know this is the end as well. And this is their last hooray. So when am I going to be getting in? After this is done, I'm going to see if the price starts dropping at a certain point. I don't care. I'll take a chunk. I'll write it in, because it could even be a day or two later, 3 days later, and the reality hits. Remember, a lot of stuff has to be done behind the scenes. But once this thing is done, and once the reverse split happens, and it basically is no more 8, I'm hitting this, and I'm writing it between that window. I'm not going to be stupid. Okay? I'm not going to be stupid, because I understand how this is being decided along with this. So you can make your money here, disappear. You can make your money on AMC climbing up, disappear. This here, this is the danger zone, people. This right here is real, because these guys, they're loading up bullets when they get this vote. And these bullets could take you out. Hope that helps. Giant hugs.
Okay. Danger zone. Got it. Still not really getting much out of that one. Man, look at all these. Look at who is left here. Zane Investing, clickbait. B Invested. I think this is maybe, I actually don't remember. Let's see who it is. I think it's an existing grifter.
The S&P, crypto, gold, as well as oil.
Maybe not.
The investments tab, which has some of the best longer-term stock holds that you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all advertisements for Discord. So let's get to the video.
A very, very important video. Okay, now the baby blue count will basically get you all the way up to around 350 before we see a major pullback, but we'll have a video by then. And if you're looking at welcome back, everyone. This is Be Invested, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about ticker symbol APE, and then also diving into AMC. Okay, now hopefully you guys saw that clip on the last video where we basically told you exactly what was going to happen for this asset. So congratulations if you were able to watch the video and then also make the moves necessary to make some money on this asset. Okay, now as we're approaching that 350 level, does it seem like we're going to pull back? Well, in my personal opinion, yes it does. As you can clearly see, we are starting to form some decent gaps, which are going to cause some exhaustions. Okay, now this one right here could be arguably deemed as a breakaway and then a continuation. Okay, but as you can see, we're pushing up higher and higher, and this one may also be a continuation, or this one could actually be labeled as an exhaustion gap. And then this one is also going to be another gap. So at some point in one of these variations, we're going to have our exhaustion gap, okay? So let's just say best case scenario, breakaway gap, continuation, continuation, and then exhaustion. So what does that mean overall for this asset? That we're coming and approaching a high in which we'll start to see a corrective move, okay? Now, using some of these gaps as reference, we can also assume that when we correct, we will be retracing back to one of these key levels. So let's just keep in mind that the 260, the 194, and then I wouldn't necessarily think the 75-cent level, but just keep that in the back of your mind that 75 cent is going to be a clear level of support, okay? Now, using the prior move that we've just experienced based on that wave theory of this being an impulse of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we can assume that the overall push to the upside will be about that same length or a little bit higher, okay? So anywhere in the wheelhouse of around 426 to
Wow.
327,
Elliott
which is
wave.
obviously in the neighborhood of 350, should be the overall move that you're looking for before seeing that substantial pullback, okay? So be aware if this asset like gaps up on Monday, it may actually just go all the way back
Gap and crap.
to some of these lower levels. So just be prepared for that corrective move. And if that does happen, then you're going to get some sort of correction. I'm not sure entirely what it will be, but you could get a WXY to the downside, which would be like a WXY, maybe something like that, or an ABC or some structure to the downside, right? So just be aware, guys, that we are approaching those take profit levels if you did see the last video. And
Yeah,
from
right.
that last video, we did say that, like I said before, we should, depending on the correction, have a chance to see even another high, okay? So the best case scenario for all the bulls
That's a
out there is that this
4x
is
right
gonna
there,
go
though.
1
So
into a 2, into a 3, 4, and a 5 higher. Now, if that's going to be the case, we cannot break through
who's
this level
Stephanie?
right here. So I'm going to change this color
Who's
around
Stephanie?
just so you
Model
guys
3
can get
dude.
emphasis.
Have you seen? Do you know who Stephanie is? I have never seen Stephanie before. She's
The
next.
fact that this is a key level, and if we do break it,
Because all the other female grifters left. I only knew of one. It was that Bunny.
then the fact is that we're more than
Huh.
likely not going to be in an extended impulse move higher, and that this was simply put an ABC to the upside, and that this whole move will soon be over, and then we'll be looking for basically the same scenario of which you can see we're basically just trickling down, some slight pops, obviously some areas to trade, but more or less a downtrend, okay? So if we need to make that new high, or essentially we're going to be looking at a scenario just like this, okay? So that's basically the idea around this video. And hopefully, like I said, you took advantage of the last one to help you navigate some easy money that did come about at that exact level that we talked about, okay? So as it stands right now, guys.
So he said it's going to go down. How can I argue? I can't argue with that. All right, let's go to AMC.
AMC. Does it correlate with APE at all? Well, in the last video we did say, or that may have actually been BBBY, but in the last video for AMC, we did actually talk about the fact that we were looking for this pop, okay? Now we said that we had consolidation in a tight range, okay? Now the same thing happened over here prior, where we had the consolidation in a tight range, and then we popped up higher. Now I told you in the last video, if we do pop up higher, this is going to want to be the place in which you take profits, or at least some of your profits, because based on the prior move, you can see once we had
and I can't argue with that either.
Basically just slow faded and grinded to the lows. So this could be the exact scenario that we're expecting for AMC now. So just be prepared for this type of a move.
Oh,
and if
shit.
we break through the lows, that's going to solidify the fact that we're going to be going down to around 275, okay? Now this whole trade basically worked out exactly how the last trade worked out for us on the Discord. As you can see, we did break above this level of resistance, okay? And then had that breakout move to the upside, doing the same sort of consolidation. Now in this scenario, we had that same move, okay? Now you could have arguably placed it here, or maybe even here. But regardless, you had that same breakout and that same exact move, guys, okay? We had that breakout, consolidation.
Wow. Somebody who's not talking about breaking out of the bullish
And
wedge.
I can almost just mirror this thing right over here. As you can see, it's almost the exact same, okay? So at this point, if you want to be bullish on this asset, it's pretty clear where everyone have their stop losses. There is a doji, very prominent, very big. If you break above that doji, then you could actually have a short squeeze on your hands, in which AMC is the perfect candidate to continue to go higher. So if you're bullish on this stock, just be a little patient, okay? Be a little bit patient. If it breaks above 684, then you can basically look to buy in for a parabolic move higher. But until that happens, you basically are just looking for this asset to find a new structure, excuse me, on the lows, okay? Or you could potentially even short this stock back down to the downside. It does have a history,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
said
you could.
before, of going up and then obviously coming down. And even if you are long biased, you could make some money in the shorter term as it kind of trickles its way down, and then look to buy somewhere in that target area of around like $2 to $3, okay? And once you get down to that $2 to $3, we could see another
So
rise, very, very similar to what has just happened, okay? A nice little
before we
three-way
go over to
structure back
Stephanie,
to the upside, giving you a pretty decent gain in the shorter term viewpoint. So if just look at the charts, you can see if you average in at 3, you can maybe take profits at 5, which is a pretty damn good gain overall. And it should only take a few weeks or maybe like a month or so for that to happen, okay? So as always, guys, hopefully you found this video to be helpful for you and your future self, and simply continue to like and subscribe if you want to stay up to
all
date
right.
with
So
all the
I
videos.
mean, that's what you get for judging a book by its cover. I think you are wrong. It will go up this coming week. Uh, but before we go to Stephanie, I want to bring up something here regarding AMC's options. So I've used this site Volify for implied volatility studies and things like that on AMC right now. You are looking at an implied volatility percentile, IV percentile of 100. What that means is that in the last year, the last 1 year from Friday, uh, AMC's implied volatility was lower than it currently is 100% of the time. So it indicates a high implied volatility. And we can see that. We can see that right here on the implied volatility chart here in the middle. We can see it close to 300. Obviously, this is an average of at the money options, so it's not representing every option contract because there's too many. But um, when we see the IV percentile right here in the black line at the bottom, so it was close. What is this? Back here in like August, September, but it pushed higher now. And in fact, I was looking at this on Fidelity earlier. The implied volatility on AMC has not been at the levels that it currently is since June of 2021. But, so you might be tempted to say, "Oh, that sounds bullish, Scott." Um, well, okay, but let me pull that. Let me just go ahead and pull that up over on Fidelity so we can look at that. Okay, here's Active Trader Pro, the IV index, and you can see here's a 3 month. This shows it over 300, 6 month, 1 year. Also, number of option contracts um, was huge recently. We saw the same thing back in August and then back at the end of March. But let me put IB on here. Actually, it might have been on Thinkorswim that I saw this, now that I think about it. But anyway, still, nonetheless, this spike here was like 292. This is not reflecting the same thing. Let me pop over to Thinkorswim. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, here we go. So let's get this one out of here. Bollinger Bandwidth. Don't need that. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna shit. I'm gonna leave it, but I'm just gonna minimize it. So this is implied volatility here. So that's why I say, let me draw a line. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here's June. This is June's, actually it's May 31st, but well, this is a weekly chart. That's why. So here's the run up in June. Here's this implied volatility, and we saw it spike up even higher back in January 2021. But so highest implied volatility really since June of 2021. Had some other spikes, but nothing that big. Then, so obviously implied volatility relating to options and option prices. But we can also look at other volatility measurements such as the Bollinger Bands, which I have on the chart here, Bollinger Bands, and the Bollinger Band width here, which is just telling us how wide are these bands. So we can see that when the bands are close together, this line is low, it's lower, has a smaller value. And when the bands are extremely wide, like here in June of 2021, this line has a much higher value. So, and what this is really telling us is um, expected volatility um, of the stock. Uh, the stock will trade within the Bollinger Bands like 90% of the time. So, and we see usually it does trade within the bands. Sometimes it goes outside of it on, excessive moves, or it might pop above it. Usually when it pops above it, it's going to come back down in the bands because it stays within the Bollinger Bands. They're designed to contain the stock price movement 95% of the time within the bands. So when we're just looking at the width here on this chart, or this curve in the middle, so that it's kind of another volatility indicator. And we can see that, like in January of 2021, the IV spiked, and so did the Bollinger Band width. In June, the same thing happened. But now at the current time, that is not the case. Let me switch to a daily chart. Oops, daily chart, and we can even see even more clearly. Let's go back to the beginning. Well, last fall, and let me hide the Bollinger Bands themselves. So we see IV is just going to the moon, and the Bollinger Bands during this period have actually gotten closer together. So a lot of the times when you see the bands get narrow, you might expect them to widen out, kind of open up into a period of more volatility. But here, it's just interesting. So going over to the option chain here, and actually we'll do this on Fidelity. Um, so, okay. We'll look at the next couple dates. We'll look at March and April. Okay. So this is as of Friday. The volume was very much in favor of the puts, 713,000 to 506,000 calls. So that's a ratio of one call, 1.4 puts to every one call, or put call ratio of 1.4 to 1, or a call put ratio of 1 to 1.4, depending on how you phrase it. Open interest is even more in favor of puts. 2.7 million puts currently open versus 1.7 million calls currently open. So the option traders, the option market is leaning on puts here. Um, and my feeling is that that accounts for the increased implied volatility. So if we come over here, well, actually, let's look at today's biggest trades. So this was from Friday. The biggest trades, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 entries are puts ranging from $3 puts on February 17th, February 24th, and April 21st, $2 puts in March, $10 puts in February, but huge quantities, 20,000 of these February 17th $3 strike puts. So here we can see it. The $3 has 145,000 open. How does the call side look as compared? Nowhere close. Nowhere close. And that's not even the highest. $4 strike puts 188,000 open. 188,000. So these are large numbers. Also, if we go to March, even more. 273,000 of the 3 puts, 251,000 of the 2 puts, and then another 200,000 right here between all to 10, 5, 4, 15, 1, and 6. Calls. It's closer, but it's still not really close. Not really close. But that's a little bit further out. This coming week, it looks to be in favor of the calls, potentially, but there are a lot of puts as well. So we'll have to see kind of what happens. Looking at the 90-day average volume, it's still in favor of the calls. Still in favor of the calls. All right. So just a little bit. So anyway, going back to this volatility thing. Here, you know, this is extremely high implied volatility. It might be tempting to buy options at this point, especially if you have a directional bias here. You know, most option traders would be very cautious, if not, you know, they wouldn't buy contracts here because of this implied volatility. So what happens when implied volatility goes up? The option premiums go higher. Also, what happens when um, implied volatility goes up? Well, it usually goes back down. Usually goes back down. So if it goes back down, it's going to take a lot of option premium with it. And you don't want to be stuck there having paid a large premium for contracts and see a situation where the stock actually goes the direction that you anticipated, that you set yourself up for with the contracts. However, you end up losing money because the volatility, so much volatility exited the option chain that it took so much premium with it that it actually outstripped your profit. So, or you can use a volatility strategy in options, something other than buying naked calls or puts. For example, you could sell calls or you could sell puts, depending on what your bias is. So, selling calls is a bearish move. Selling puts is a bullish move. It's the opposite of what it is when you buy them naturally. So there are other strategies as well. Things like strangles, short strangles, and like your iron condors and butterflies and things like that that are less sensitive to implied volatility. But this right here is personally something I would stay away from. But it is curious to me that the Bollinger Bands are, so far pulled in. So if we look here in Thinkorswim's option chain, we can see that this week, based on the implied volatility of 228%, which again is an average just for this expiration, we see an expected move of around $1.33, $1.34. So that's not really that much. You have to remember, we're talking about percentages. We're talking about percentages of a $6 stock. So even 200% doesn't equate to that much. Okay, let's get back to the videos. Back to the videos. All right. Stephanie. I'm not familiar with Stephanie.
Hi guys, it's Stephanie from Twitter. I wanted to do a video regarding APE and why I think it is checkmate. And like I have said many times, I do not think APE was a fail. I know many people think it was and think that aron really screwed everyone over. But I'm going to go over why I don't think this was and the timing that I've talked about in my first video. So I'm going to jump right in. Just so you know, I've got a lot to talk about. So I've got some notes. I want to stay on track. So I might look at my computer a bit. I have some things to read to you. So anyway, I'm going to get right into it on the creation of APE and why it was created. Obviously, it was created because we needed to raise capital, and APE did that. It was to have a currency for AMC. So aron.
This sounds like she's just repeating what Aron said. Make AMC debt free 2023. Boy. Okay. 2 weeks. It's a 2-week-old account or channel. Been on YouTube for a while though. All right, well, I don't think I can sit through all that, talking about the creation of APE and all that stuff. But I'll skip around.
I think he realized, okay, we need to go with plan B. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to check my notes real quick. So obviously, with aron getting to that plan B, he saw that the price was $3.36. He had only, in that 8K, he had only said he was going to sell 425 million. So that was the only approved amount with that intent to sell. So he could have only sold that much. Well, that wouldn't have raised enough capital to be where we needed to be. He would have had to sell, I think, 1.5 billion at $3.36 to raise that 5 billion to pay off, if not all of the debt, right? And that's what we needed to achieve, or to have it very close to that. It wasn't going to be enough. And the reason
okay, all right.
that it was not good is if he had then issued more aid at that point, he would have also been giving away voting rights. They could have bought it at dirt cheap prices. $3.36 is still so cheap, and we would have then had a huge float. When all said and done, it would have, if he had sold the 1.5, it would have been our float would have been 2.5 billion.
Why does it look like she's in like a corporate conference room or something?
Then had
Who is this person?
1.5 billion in voting rights if they had just gone in and purchased all of that. So even if we had been at that point,
But
debt
he
free,
didn't.
but then they had control of AMC. We did not want that to happen, and I think that is why Aron was like, no, we're going to have to readjust our plan and go with plan B instead of plan A. I think he already had that in his thought. Okay, let's see what they're going to do. Are they going to do the right thing and start to cover and unwind their position, and I can sell at a decent price, and we
the right thing,
and they could possibly get out and not die, right? I mean, they could not, they might have got out of it without going bankrupt. At this point, I don't think they get out of this without going bankrupt. I think
AMC? You don't think AMC gets out of this without going bankrupt? Or, I mean, I know that she's not talking about AMC. It's just funny. That's what happens when you say they. Could be anybody.
Going to be going bye-bye. Anyway, fingers crossed. Anyway, so I think that is why he went with...
Why would you want short sellers to go bye-bye? I don't get that.
Because obviously he had 425, but he would have had to come back and get another billion to even be close to raising enough capital, and that is if he sold it all on that day at $3.36. Because we saw that they, as soon as that happened, they just killed it even more. We went from there, we went into the twos, into the ones, and then under $1. So their intent.
So then he sold them for under $1.
They were hoping Aron was going to just keep diluting with bad dilution and selling a tremendous discount, and they could just, have put AMC out of business. That was their...
That's not how it works.
That was my one sentence.
But okay, you drank the Tang.
Here, the setup for this. Look, Antera, I know... they're bottom feeders, right? They are also hedge funds. They are not good people, and we're all like, why did...
But they're going to save you.
Well, he needed that vehicle. He needed to get to this point where he could fulfill all of the requirements of APE. So he needed this to be part of the deal. And Terra got lucky, right? And they were the ones that got the deal from Aron. They are bottom feeders. They don't care about anything other than money. So they didn't know. They don't.
Well, that's
getting money
That's the nature of this business. I mean, I don't see how. Whatever.
Way or the other, as long as they're getting money. So either they're going to get money shorting it, or they're going to get money doing this deal. And obviously this deal with Aron was a much better deal for them. They're going to make a lot of money. And they're, like I said, they're just bottom feeders. But at the end of the day, they may make a lot of money.
Bottom feeders?
But we have a much better chance. We take control. We still have control of AMC, and we will.
I have no idea.
Smart dilution.
Model 3, dude.
This is what it took to.
I am so confused.
Point. I'm okay with it. Okay, because everything is, you gotta wheel and deal, right? It's business, so you have to make. deals that are maybe
but
not
she
what you would like.
but she just said that they would have had to have issued all this yada yada yada, and they wouldn't have been able to raise the 5 billion. I'm waiting to hear how they're raising 5 billion out of this. First of all, number one, and also this thing about smart dilution versus bad dilution. Where did that even come from? Um, Retail still not buying 336. AMC apes want their money back. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. We're going to see a lot more of that.
You need to
We're
figure
going to see
out
more of it
how do I
in videos
achieve
today
what I
too.
need to achieve in the best manner to achieve it. And I think that's what Aron did. And Antero, they got lucky, they got a deal, they're going to make lots of money. But at the end of the day, once we do this reverse split, that's wiped off anyway. It was kind of like, it doesn't matter at the end when this is all said and done, because they're going to sell it. They're just bottom feeders. They're only in it for money. So that's
About the fourth time she said that.
They don't care how they make the money as long as they make money. And so that is how they're looking at it.
That's Wall Street.
They're nothing to us, but they are a vehicle for us to be able to be debt-free, do smart dilution, and bury the rest of these bloody bottom feeders, right? So that is why Antero got the deal that they did. Look, I know it sucks that he sold it at under a dollar, right? But if we get to be debt-free, smart dilution, lower flow...
But, okay, so explain how that is going to work. She's going to have to.
This is the deal, okay? We can't go, oh, why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? There's reasons why he hasn't done things, or in the order that you have to think he is running $1 billion company. It's not easy, guys, especially when you...
I'm just proud that I found her and not Manuel, because he usually finds the new channels and stuff. I found this one.
So we're not easy to deal with either, so you have to give it to him.
Small victories.
Trying to do the best that he can do. I know people were like, hating on Aron. I just wish you could just give him a minute to see where his plan is. I know you feel like you've been blindsided before and you don't trust him or whatever, but remember, he is running $1 billion company. It is not easy. He has requirements. He has many things coming at him in really bad times. We went through COVID. We went through, they didn't stop short selling. They put these companies to slaughter, basically. So he is, clawing his way back to, and with the help of us, of course, but it's not an easy job. So remember that every time you want to throw a stone. Remember, this is not an easy job. So, can we do better? Could we have done better? Who knows? I don't think so. I mean, this is hard times. So give him some credit sometimes, guys. Let's stop throwing mud and let's just get through this, because
it's not mud they're throwing.
And we need to...
It looks like mud.
And
they're apes after all.
Calling everyone names is not the way to do that. And it shows weakness in our group. And we need to be strong at this time.
Well, have you been over to the AMC subreddit lately?
So obviously I touched on Antero, smart dilution.
So I don't know if she's real or not.
This is smart dilution. Doing this reverse split, obviously a higher price, we're selling less shares, we are bringing in a lot more money. So this is smart dilution. We do not want to do bad dilution where we are selling billions of ape and only making millions, okay? We want to...
Oh, so that's smart dilution.
We want to move on. So we want smart dilution.
Reverse split, jack the price up, and then add the shares. So add the shares at the high price. Okay, smart.
Obviously, here is a good thing too. And, Bigham's touched on this the other day in his...
Bigham's?
That we... Well, also, if Aron comes out and he sells, say, 100 million, and that raises a ton of cash, he's now, say he raises 6 billion, 5 or 6 billion, we can be debt free and we can have cash in the bank. And this is where we still have like 400 million AMC sitting there. This gives us a war chest like no other. This is going to be the thing that puts every short seller off of coming at AMC ever again, right? And that's what we want to make sure. We want to make sure we are ammoed up and we go, come on then, and we'll take you out, because we have 400 million AMC sitting there. So if we have to sell to raise money at any time,
so more dilution.
So this is significant. It doesn't mean that he's going to sell it. He probably would never, because we won't have to have. We have that ammo there, so we will not be under attack like we have been. So this would be that ammo sitting in the war chest, waiting if anything comes up. So it's just that ammo.
Yeah, but that's what Ape was supposed to do,
So
I
it's
thought.
basically our
Anyway,
safety net on warding off any more predatory shorting or predatory lending, any of
the
that.
way to do that is by improving fundamentals. I mean, this is all well and good, but it's not going to stop anybody from short selling the stock. It's just not. I don't see that. If the fundamentals are shit and investors see the price as being overvalued, um, it's going to be sold short. Sorry, like as long as the company is not fundamentally healthy, it's going to happen. And even if it is fundamentally healthy, maybe it's just overvalued. I mean, you see that all the time. It's been 3 years. Where's my squeeze? Maybe if she buys more AMC Ape, it may help a little. She probably believes that, doesn't she?
This gives us opportunities to go into other areas and look into more ways that we can build our brand, because now we are a brand with all of us behind it, and the amount of eyes that AMC is like no other company out there right now. It is such the brand. Why wouldn't you want to be part of AMC brand now? It is really that important. Here's another fact that I think is also important. When he does do all of this reverse split and everything, there is no time for them to really add fuckery to it, because it's March 14th that the vote, that it comes out, and then that is when it's getting delisted. So it is just comes out all in one, and then we have, what is the word? There's just no time for them to manipulate it at that point, because it's just a transition. Like when, obviously, like I said, when Ape came out, they had that time to manipulate, because he had to do the 8K filing, 30 days. So they had a lot of time to manipulate that price, to really wheel and deal and have loopholes here and there. They don't have that time now. So this is really important. When it comes out and he does that, he will be able to put, if he does 100 million, he'll be able to put that on the market immediately. And, we'll be ready for it. And we could buy it. That will not take us long to buy.
At the higher price, I doubt it. I mean, people aren't buying it now, as Tony pointed out. Tony Tenko here, retail investors aren't buying AMC Ape. And so I just don't see it. Okay.
And I'm sure every ape's going to be like, yep, I'll have some of those too. So we can really keep control of our company and be debt free and have fundamentals, strong fundamentals. So this puts us in
Wall Street would be the only ones that can afford to buy it.
Remember, our price will go up when we are this stronger company.
That's true.
Keep manipulating it, because why would you? You have no way.
That's not necessarily true.
There is no way to win. So like I said, I think Adam Aron had it was either A or B, and he had to see where they were going. It is checkmate, but he had to see where the opponent was going to lay down their king. So hey, they're not just going to lay down and die. If they figure they still have a chance to maybe put AMC out of business, they were going for it. Look, here's the thing. Greed always kills the greedy, and that is something that you can always guarantee on. These guys are greedy, and that was always going to be their downfall. They completely manipulated it to no other levels, and they OD'd on it, right? They just got drunk on shorting AMC. Well, big mistake, because we were not leaving. So they now...
It doesn't matter that you're not leaving.
Off the table, we now have raised tons and tons of money. They can't touch us, guys.
Get this flawed idea out of their, like, that it doesn't even make sense. First of all, it doesn't make sense that short sellers want to bankrupt companies. That's their goal. And that's all that these people say. They shorted it into the ground. They wanted to bankrupt so they don't have to return the shares. But they're also naked shorting. I mean, those are two statements that are incongruent. If you're saying they're naked shorting, then they're not borrowing shares, which there's no it's not. Brokers borrow the shares. So brokers are not going to do that. Prime brokers are not going to do that. So whatever with naked shorting, there's no evidence. But they say there's naked shorting, synthetic shares, whatever that means. And also that they wanted to drive the company to bankruptcy so that they wouldn't have to return the shares that they didn't borrow from naked shorting. And I'm going to look this up too about short sellers and bankruptcies and the history and kind of some examples, but that's not really how it works. But anyway, it's just so ignorant.
They can't touch us. That means our price can really skyrocket. Not even just in the squeeze, which I think would be shortly after, all of this, if not before that we have a big run up. I put out another video saying, hey, there's a possibility we have a run before. But even if we didn't, I think they're going to have to start closing positions because it's the cost to borrow, all of this, it's going against them. So there's way too many walls coming in on them at this point. And so if they have no chance to win, the cost to borrow is through the roof, they're losing liquidity. There's a lot coming at them all at once. So you have to keep that in mind. I know it's stressful times. Please give Adam Aaron the benefit of the doubt. I know your money's on the line. My money's on the line. I understand, right? But look at it this way. There's reasons why maybe he didn't do things that we thought he should do. I hope I highlighted some of the reasons why I think he had to do it this way. I think there was the chance for a plan A, but as we saw, those shorts, they were just going to go, nope, because we can still manipulate this and we can still try and win.
How? Manipulate? What?
I don't think so, guys. Like, how do you short a company that's debt-free and got 400...
They're not debt-free. They're not debt-free. Plain and simple, and they're accumulating more debt as time goes on. They're burning capital as time goes on. It might have been a good find, but that was a terrible video. Sorry, Stephanie. Okay, so we got some other things here. Let's see. I know this one. I know this is going to be a popular one here. So let's just get this out of the way.
Ape Father has come to an acceptance. That's it. When you come to an acceptance on something, I came to an acceptance. That's it. There are just too many people that are dumb, low IQ idiots in this play. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm watching guys like, Donahue George.
Hi, sub.
His last 100 videos is how corrupt AMC is. It's over, finished. We have to protest, blah, blah, blah.
I just vacuumed my car earlier. So
now he makes a video saying all the signs are showing AMC will have a big run next week. How the FUCK, here's the question that I have for all of you. Did he go from, I want you to think about this for a second. How did Donahue George, whatever his name is, George Donahue, no, but I want you to think about this for a second. How did he just go from making 100 videos on how the corruption is insane, Adam Aaron doesn't have our back, We need to protest. We need to fight back. We're finished. Now he just makes a video. AMC about to run.
Jesus, an hour
What?
streamed. Okay.
Could someone explain that to me like I'm a 6-year-old? Could someone explain that to me like, I don't know, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. You get a guy like Lou, who has been wrong about everything he has ever said about AMC. Never one time was right. March 3rd is gonna be the Moass. Evergrande default is gonna be the Moass. Elon Musk selling his shares are gonna be the Moass. Whatever, high interest rates is gonna be the Moass. Tensions in Russia and Ukraine is gonna be the Moass.
Wow.
Stock market crash is going to be the Moass.
Stock market rally is going to be the Moass.
Insider connections coming to Lou, saying that we're going to rather drop from 30, instantly go up to $100 a share, start the managed event. He has not been right about anything. Never ever showed his portfolio. Never proved he's an
His daughter probably does have more common sense.
Says that he'll never step into an AMC again. He comes up with the name Popcorn for Adam Aron. He completely destroys Ape. He completely destroys AMC. Most of his followers agree. I remember reading, because you're all brainless idiots. Okay, no offense. I mean, not all of you, but the people who listen to Lou are. So I remember reading the comments. All these people were like, Lou, you're right. AMC is garbage. AMC is finished. I'm selling. I'm out, Lou. Right? Now, Lou shuts down his channel, erases all of his videos, right?
I wonder why he did that.
Hiding, like he did with the time when he stole $73,000 from innocent senior citizens. Then he comes back with a new channel called Behind the Streets. After he erases, whatever you say, all the evidence, allegedly, of all his previous videos that had over 80,000 subscribers, over 73 million views.
Father supposedly put 400,000 in it, so...
Okay. Remember how they shredded all the paperwork? Lou shreds all his videos, comes back, basically
with the whiteboard,
starts talking about AMC again. Same Lou, same Uncle Louie as before. And all of his followers come flocking in like a flock of seagulls. They come in and they're all happy like kids in a candy store. They're like, Lou, give me your chocolate bar. I love it. I love it. I love the nuts. I love the chocolate. I love that caramel.
What the hell?
I love it all, baby. Give it to me. And Lou gives it to you. Lou's laughing his way right back to the bank. His channel's growing again. Lou is feeding you all of his BS, playing you like complete jackasses, playing you like Liberace on the piano, playing you like fools, and you're all going right back into it. What's up, Alex? I give up on that because, Alex, you want to know what the problem is? People are idiots. I'm going to be the first YouTuber. You want to hear what it is? No one else is going to tell you the way it is. I'm just monetizing. Give me 1 second here. I just did a video. I didn't get a chance to monetize it. Hold on. I got to do this real quick. There it is. So people are saying to me, Abe Father, you should be the CEO like Alex. He's laughing. He's probably breaking my balls. He's breaking my Italian balls. You want to know what the thing is? Look, I know that's not going to happen, Alex. We're dealing with a bunch of idiots. People are you're all over the place. You're all over the place. Like I see the same people. I see the same people who went to the protest, the same people who are, 100% like, Abe Father, you're right. We got to do something about this corruption. We got to fight back. Now, all these people are, AMC's about to run. The Moass is around the corner. There is no effing Moass, you idiots. Listen to me. There will never be an AMC Moass. Wake up and smell the coffee. If anything, we're lucky. You want to hear what we're lucky about?
You guys are doing my work for me here.
Will just get us our money back. Now I'm going to tell you something.
That's funny.
If I can get my money back and I can get a little bit of a profit, I'm selling. That's it. I'm telling you, I'm out. No, there is no Moass, John. John, you're all nuts. You're all smoking crack. No offense to you, okay? I'm saying alleged. I'm joking, but you're all
Smoke crack, right?
lunatic. How is there going to be a Moass? Tell me how. How you really think AMC is going to go to like 50,000 a share or 100? You're all nuts. You're all nuts. They're going to take 90% of our shares away, and Terra and hedge funds are going to short us to the oblivion. You're probably going to get one chance. You want to hear what it is? There might be one run-up. I'm going to tell you what I feel. There might be one run-up. And then you might have a chance if you're lucky. Now, let me just be clear. This may not even happen, what I'm saying to you. This may not even happen. But you might get one run-up, if we're lucky, to $500, $400 a share. And that's it. And that's it. I don't even think, you want me to tell you the truth? I don't even think that's going to happen. Now, of course, I'm talking about after the 10 for 1. I'm talking about after the 10 for 1 reverse stock split. That's maybe you have a small percentage of a chance that we might have one single run up. And I don't even think that's going to happen. I don't even think that's going to happen. I'm just saying, you're right. So let's say John Bennett says 140 next week. That's going to be all she wrote. Let's go with John Bennett's comment. 140 next week. Now, are you talking about next week? No, not going to happen next week. 140 next week is not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't.
You're going to have to wait until after March 14th. After the after we have the 10 for 1 reverse.
That means it'd have to get to 14.
Potentially, because, and I'm saying potentially,
which is still over twice of what it is now.
Institutions might buy in, assuming Aron pays down the debt. There might be large institutional buying. There might be some excitement. You might see one run up. You might. And that's about all she wrote. That's it. That's all. There's nothing else. After that, AMC is going to shoot back down. The hedge funds are going to short us to the oblivion. It's like kind of like going to Atlantic City. You know how they give you that one chance before they take all your money? They give you that one window. I think AMC is going to give all of us one window, and I am not going to.
They're not going to take it.
Enough. I'm not going to be stupid enough to miss it this time. I'm not going to be. So this time around, when I see the one window and I see all my money back in my Fidelity account, and I see a nice respectable profit, hasta la vista to all you lunatics. You're all crazy. Okay, you're all nuts. We could have had the Moass. We could have had the Moass because
you did. You did have it.
Simply, all of
what are you talking about?
Do not have the mindset. You do not have the mindset to take on a corrupt system. You don't have the mindset to.
Don't have the capital to do it.
You don't have the mindset
about
to
that.
take on Ken Griffin. You don't have the mindset to take on Gary Gensler. All of you don't. No offense. So I give up on.
Here it is.
That's it. I give up on all of you. That's it. So at this point,
$2 to 72.
I want to see a nice profit. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Bye-bye. And that's it. That's it. I've lowered my cost average a tremendous amount, and that's it. It's very, very low. It's lower than most of you would even imagine. I've been loading up. I lowered my cost average. I'm in a good position, and that's it. No, I'm going to get. Thank you, John. I'm going to get my money back. I'm not. Listen, I was never. But you see, John, let me try to make you understand something, brother. I was never in this play to get my money back. That was not why I see. I came into AMC for the Moass. Okay.
Even if you get your money back,
for life changing.
Even if you get your money back and you quote unquote broke even, you still lost. You still lost. Why? Because of the opportunity cost that you squandered. You tied up all of your money for how long? And you made nothing off of it. Yeah, it's good that you got it back, assuming that you can get it back, but that's still a loss in my book. And hopefully it would be a learning experience, a lesson. So that's it. I think we got it. I think we got the gist of that one. I'll leave this up here in case we need filler. Let me pull this up here.
Famous traders quotes. As much as possible, you don't want to be well paid merely for taking big risks. Anyone can manage that. You want to be well paid because you did your homework. Limit your size in any position so that fear does not become the prevailing instinct guiding your judgment.
That one's relevant to the apes.
If it's obvious, it's obviously wrong.
There it is.
Famous
If it's
traders
obvious, it's obviously wrong, which is the title of this live stream. So everybody now is turning bullish. They always were bullish, but now it's it's back to this. The squeeze has already started, man. The squeeze has already started. Oh, look, crypto's crashing. Crypto is crashing. What does that mean for stocks when the market opens up later this evening? We'll have to see, but anyway. The squeeze has already started, man. Look, we broke above the bullish wedge. They were saying that here too. The squeeze has already started, man. The squeeze is starting, man. Oh, they definitely said it back here. Ape's gonna cause the squeeze, man. What about March? Lou's gonna cause the squeeze, man. Every one of these times. Although I do think it is more, I do think it is more exaggerated now than it was in these previous times. And also, yeah, which leads me to, not ape father, leads me to ant trade or ants trades. So there's a couple videos. All-time highs next week, my outlook and why I'm expecting all-time highs next week. We'll go with the later one, the most recent, I guess. Now, just a word of caution.
What's going on, guys?
We're going to hear a lot of honesty in this video. He's just going to be honest with us, and things are looking really good.
It's back with another video. This is pretty much a surprise video. I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
The demand is there. Why not?
This video might be pretty long. I'm going to be going over everything from front to back, from the very first video I made until today.
Jesus.
Covering everything, my thesis as a whole, everything that I called from the beginning, and pretty much just how everything is played out. We'll start with the SPY. I told you guys that media for a while, mainstream media has been pumping bullshit about how the market's going to tank and this and that, and retail's just like buying into it and bearish on the SPY, and they're pumping all this garbage into your face. Meanwhile, they're setting up a bullish reversal. I called SPY to break out of this descending broadening wedge that it's been trading in since what is it, November of 2021, when we were like in this range.
What?
Here, I was calling for this to break out, and if you recall me saying too, I also said there was a possibility that we could see a double top. I mean, we have some time until we see that, but I did call SPY breaking out of its descending broadening wedge when we were in this range here. I was expecting
it hasn't broken out of the wedge. It's a little higher than the wedge, but it hasn't broken out. No.
It aligns with my thesis on AMC. It aligns with everything. So
yeah, so it has to break out, basically, is what he's saying. If it doesn't, then it throws this whole thing off.
I really quickly wanted to show you guys this. This is Ape. When I made my first video, Ape was below its neckline. I was calling Ape to break its neckline of its inverse head and shoulders, which is bullish, and that's what we got. And saw some gaps.
Inverse head and shoulders.
Really quickly into AMC. And I'm gonna go back to the SPY.
What?
This is the descending wedge that we've been trading in for 2 years now. I was calling.
Why would anybody want to copy this DD? You can't even call it DD.
So all three breakouts.
It's just blind hopium.
Of the patterns that I've called for the SPY, for AMC, and for Ape has happened. From my first video, I said I was expecting all three to break out and to see runs in all three, and so far all three of them have broke out to the upside. So that's that.
I mean, oh wow, pat yourself on the back. You're such a genius. Bull market geniuses. We're not in a bull market.
And I also said you'd see a narrative change. I think that was in my first video. I said you're gonna see the narrative start to shift back into our favor, which, I mean, that's what you kind of saw for the past couple of weeks. News articles about how meme stocks are surging again. Wall Street Bets is back, this, that, the other. Occupy SEC, which I think that's complete bullshit. I think that was a plant just as a narrative shift. Personally, who knows? To me, I think the timing of it is kind of strange. It just looks like it's staged to me. It just looks like
the timing is strange. You know the timing, right? Why they did it when they did it, or was he not around in January 2021? That's an odd statement to make. That's a very odd statement for this guy to make. Did you catch that? The timing is weird of the protest.
Was to me, just as an Occupy SEC, which I think that's complete bullshit. I think that was a plant just as a narrative shift. Personally, who knows? To me, I think the timing of it is kind of strange.
Really?
It just looks like it's staged to me. It looks like they're trying to paint the narrative in, a different way. Shifting
We could say the same thing about your videos. I mean, what? What?
back to retail
Ugh,
investors,
Jesus Christ.
fighting against them to have
Yeah.
something to
And
shift the blame
why
when
would
AMC
that
is
one
wrong.
happen? Why would they want to do that? Whoever they are in this instance, I have no clue who they are. Who would plant an Occupy SEC protest? I don't know. Um, why would anybody want to get retail to be bullish again if it were a plant? I mean, you're not like it, Jesus, whatever.
It's next week. So
That, by the way, what I'm saying is that if that's the case, then retail investors in AMC are about to get wiped out, which I don't think is that far from the truth anyway. But if the narrative is shifting back to being bullish and everything's bullish, if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. Why would the media be saying it? XYZ, yada, yada, yada. But whatever. He can't
that's just my opinion
connect
on
those
that.
dots, I guess.
Guys, in this video, I'm pretty much going to be covering my entire theory once again on
You got
AMC,
that. Yeah.
from front to back, and why I'm expecting AMC to squeeze next week, why I've been
Jesus
expecting AMC to
Christ.
squeeze
Okay.
since my first video, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to really touch on the SPY.
What, are you not going to talk about why it hasn't had a short squeeze since your first video? Because that's what I'm thinking.
I might touch on Ape later on, but very briefly. So, pretty much with the SPY, I called this the breakout, and this is 2 years long in a descending broadening wedge, and I called it right here that this was going to break out to the upside and keep running, and so far that's what's happened. So, really quick, let's jump into AMC, and we'll talk about this for a little bit. Not sure if everyone saw my full theory video, so I'm just going to start this over, and I'm going to do this from the beginning, and pretty much explain to you guys why I'm expecting AMC to see new highs next week. As crazy as that sounds. But my theory is it's solid, guys. It really is. So we'll start from IPO on the stock, which was roughly January 14. Now I believe that this stock and many other stocks, even cryptos, Bitcoin, they trade on 3-year cycles. So you get a shift in the trend after every 3 years. It can go bullish to bearish, bearish to bearish again, bullish to
What?
bullish, bullish to bullish. It doesn't have to alternate back and forth. You could have 4 bullish cycles in a row. So just keep that
Three
in mind.
years?
Because I had a lot of people saying, oh, so if we went bullish, bearish, bullish, wouldn't it go back to bearish? No, it doesn't have to do that. And I'll get into that. So starting with the 3-year cycles, AMC IPOs roughly January 14. 3 years later,
I mean,
roughly
17 to
January 17.
21 is
This
4
is
years.
100% move from IPO. $11 IPO, $22 3 years later. This is a bullish 3-year cycle on AMC. And then from January 17 to January 2020,
Well, I mean,
you have
except
a bear
for 2015, when it came down basically to level at or below where it came out at.
cycle where you have a repeating bear flag over and over and over again until you get to January 2020 where you get a cycle reset. Now, really quickly, this
That's
is when
4
this business
years right
started,
here.
when
That's 4 years.
the CDC announced the outbreak of COVID in January 2020. AMC really wasn't doing too great in that time to begin with, so hedge funds start shorting stock, thinking, oh, with the COVID lockdowns and everything, we could drive them out of business. And so they short the shit out of the stock. Retail catches on, starts buying it, holding it, never selling it, and then this is the mess that you get because of that. So January 2020 to January 2023, 3 years. Again, this is another bull cycle. From here, it was about 424. We're trading at 606
that makes
right
no
now,
sense.
probably about a 40% move or so. That's another bull cycle that we got.
There's no way in January 2020, January 2020, you would have known what was going to happen later that year and what the response was going to be. And then in 2021, what was going to happen. And in 2022, what's going to happen. And this, by the way, I mean, the whole of 2020, 2020 through 2022 is a bull cycle. Half of it maybe. Um, but yeah. So if you have to look in the actual forward purchase agreement, there's a section called lockup. Was it 90 days? Okay. Gotcha.
June, we've been going down
Was
this
it
time.
90 days?
Using
Do you
this
know?
too. This is a descending wedge, which is a bullish reversal pattern. This is bullish, and we just broke out of it. So I'm expecting to see new highs. So that's 3 years there.
I
And
mean, okay.
so
And also, going back to this bullish wedge, going above the line is not breaking out of the wedge. That that alone does not mean that it's going to continue to go higher. It just doesn't. There are some other things that have to happen. Um, and I can tell you right now, higher volume on down days or red days is not one of them. You needed to see green candles here and massive green volume bars. Then you could make a case that it broke out of the wedge. But as it stands, you have two candles that are above above the top trend line that both bearish candles, and you had higher volume on those bearish days. So to say that you've broken out of it because these are higher than this top trend line, it's not really substantiated. That's not really true.
when you get the cycle reset here, the algo starts running this pattern here.
Yeah. Do you know Stephanie? I have no idea who Stephanie is. I watched her. We watched I guess we watched the whole thing, and and that's the conclusion that I came to. Yeah. Yeah, it's a conclusion I came to. Wow. Good to know I'm not alone in that. Um, throw on the voice chat if anybody wants to jump in. Feel free. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I noticed that she didn't have any. She was just repeating the good old fashioned. She was she was repeating the what you call it the talking points from Adam Aron, like why they came out with ape and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I need this to be in B. There we go. There we go. Need this to be in B. Antera got a deal, but control of AMC. She did not know what percentage of AMC Antera got from the deal. I guess another ape has no clue how to do math. Yeah, she also said that, you know, I skipped the first part of the video where she was talking about Plan A, but she said something like, Adam Aron wouldn't have been able to raise $5 billion. So he went with Plan B, which didn't raise $5 billion. And then they're going to sell 400, wait, I don't know. I forget. It's so delusional. I don't even remember. But they're going to dilute. They're going to smart dilute when the price is high after the reverse split, because retail investors will definitely pay higher prices for shares because they definitely have the money to. Yeah, it's just garbage, really, just garbage.
Three fractals that I've talked about a million times with you guys. You get this movement here that leads up to the rip in January. Now I know I mentioned that this is I say we hit all-time highs here. Obviously, we didn't, because the stock price is higher back here. But for the sake of argument, for simplicity's sake, I say all-time highs. Really, I'm just running a fib extension off this, and that's where you're getting your peak. So I'm gonna explain that later. I'm gonna try to clear that up a little bit for some people. Now, so January 2020 to January 2023. So now we're expecting a cycle reset, right? January 2023 to January 2026, I'm going to get into what I'm thinking is going to happen there. But this is very clearly looking like we're getting another bullish cycle here. We broke out. This is a descending falling wedge. It's a bullish reversal pattern, and we broke it to the upside. So it looks like we're going to get some continuation to the upside. It looks like we're going to get another 3-year bull cycle here. That's just what it looks like to me. I'm expecting all-time highs next week. I'll get into that really quickly. I want to show you guys this. Listen, guys, I've been studying this chart for a very, very long time. You know, my YouTube account is fairly new. It's probably 2 or 3 weeks old at this point, and it's gained popularity pretty quickly. And you know,
I wonder
some
why.
people call it hopium. Some people think I'm spreading bullshit. Really,
Yep.
I'm just presenting you guys with facts. This is, you know, research I've done on my own,
What?
coincidences and things that I found, and you know, the way that I've seen the stock move. So I'm going to go into the bars pattern, but really quickly for anyone who hasn't seen this yet, I've been comparing this breakdown out of this flag here in November. These 3 fractals here, I've been comparing these to these 3 fractals here for a very, very long time now, and I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing. It is the exact same thing. The movement is the exact same thing. The candles are a little
Well,
different.
if you're talking if you're talking about Ape Father, he said that you'd have to wait until after March 14th, after the reverse split. So because that would be 14 would turn into 140 after March 14th. So I believe that's what he said. So really it means that it would have to get to 14, which is still over, you know, a doubling of it. But yeah. Oh, Ants trades. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. He said 140 before the reverse split. So yeah, you're right. You're right. And that's delusional.
Because you're never going to get, I'm never going to pull a bars pattern here and put it here, and it's going to overlay perfectly. That'll never happen. Again, keep in mind that this was flat. The bottom here was the bottom the whole time, and then it's repeating here,
No, it
but we're in a
wasn't.
descending wedge now, so it's just descending. You could picture picking this up,
Wasn't the bottom?
and now it would be tilted down. That's
The
exactly
bottom
what you have here.
was
It's the same pattern playing out, but it's descending. Now, from the
the
bear
bottom
cycle
was
that we had
here,
in January 17,
January
2020, from the
2021.
cycle reset, you have a descending resistance line. And now this descending resistance line runs over the 3 fractals that we have here. Just the same as this descending resistance line runs over the 3 fractals here. Same exact thing. So, as it runs over in the pre-January 2021 squeeze, there's no touch points in the green.
It is a line, a descending trend line. That much is the same. What? What beyond that? I don't know.
And then in the red, as it transitions into the blue, you get your first touch point on the descending resistance line. Exact same thing here. No touch points in the green. And then as the red transitions into the blue, you get your first touch point.
Wow.
In the middle of the blue, you get your second touch point, where you get the U, and the higher you have the same.
Bad backs here.
Same exact thing here. U, higher you.
What's up, man?
And then the third touch point, you come down, hit it one more time, come down, hit it one more time, and then you retrace, you break out, right? You retrace here, you break out, and you get a gap up, and then another candle next to it after your.
Yay, gap up. We love gaps up because gaps never have to be filled, right? I mean, that alone should be a red flag, maybe a red bear flag. Gap up. Gaps must be filled. They always must be filled. So, I mean, yeah, we can at least look forward to that.
Your third touch point, we have the exact same thing here. Third touch point here. Third touch point here, you get your retracement, you break out, get a gap up, and then another candle right next to it, right before the algo snaps, and you see all-time highs. I'm going to keep saying all-time highs just to keep it simple. This retracement was 1 day. The retracement that we had back here was 2 weeks, about 10 trading days. Now, I mentioned this before. This was very fucking annoying. The algo really slowed down here. I did mention that the algo is going to run its course. The pattern will run its course. It's going to be
the
same
algo,
pattern, but it does have the ability to slow down, and it has the ability to speed up, and that's exactly what this was. So we got 1 day of retracement here, and then you break out, gap up, rip. Over here, 10 days retracement, break out, gap up. What's next? Rip, in my opinion. So the odds of having 2 descending trend lines and then running over the same 3 fractals, because it's the exact same thing, guys, same shit. The odds of hitting your descending trend line in the exact same 3 places, guys, those odds are fucking out of this world astronomical. Crazy. Like, that is not a coincidence. No possible shot that could be a coincidence, guys. What it is the algo is running this shit on a pattern. It's on a loop, and it's just doing the same thing over and over again.
What? Oh my God.
That is.
I thought he said this was facts. Astro still tweets fractals. Oh, Jesus. So Astro is a fractal guy. Rico was a fractal guy. Cycle, whatever. Trading with emotions, and this guy, Ants Trades. But yeah, I love how they're able to crack the algos too. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's really, you know, that's really some just amazing work. Let's see here. I screwed this up here.
Yo, I got no audio in here.
Yeah, I know.
I can only hear it if I turn on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, just yes, I can. Hang on. I screwed it up. Should be aux output. No. It should be what should it be? It should be what's meter output. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now in the Telegram?
Yep, I can hear it now. What's going on,
Okay.
man?
Hey, what's up, Shadow Stars? How you doing?
Good, good, good. Oh, I didn't realize you're going to go live today. I thought you were going live at like 5 or something.
Well, I decided to split it up into 2 streams to get to do a lot of this crap and then talk more about the market later. So, yeah.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
yeah. So, but yeah, Badback has a good point here. Interesting though, none of them have been able to capitalize on their abilities to crack the algos and make actual profits. But they can sit there and say they figured out the algo, it's repeating on a 3-year cycle, which I mean, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It just doesn't work like that. And what are your thoughts on
Yeah, I mean,
cycle theory?
definitely. I mean, if they think they really cracked this code, if they were able to figure out how these algos have been moving, then he should have been buying the crap out of it on the bottom of the cycle. So has he been doing that, or has he been buying more and more like since the drop? Like all these people, if they think their theory is correct, put your money with your where your mouth is. Then basically,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like okay, so if 72 is the top of the squeeze, okay, so calculate 3 years from that period. Then so we had the squeeze back in what 2021 June, right?
Yep.
June
Yep.
2021.
Yep.
So 3 years. So isn't that what 2022, 2023, 2024? Why is he saying it's going to
I
be
know.
all-time highs sometime next week?
Yeah, I mean, he said 3-year cycles, except yeah, the second one was 4 years for some reason because that's when it starts going up again. So he has to say that because it makes no sense if he actually made it 3 years. It would be it would take it to the beginning of 2020 and it still went down in 2020. So he has to take it to 2021. Yeah, makes no sense. Um, Also, let me scroll back to where he shows the whole chart, like here. So he has this
And
like
is this
3 boxes here, like yellow, red, and blue. Like those are the 3 fractals, he says, but they don't show up until 2020, which is the end of his second cycle. So if those are the 3 fractals, then where the hell are they in the rest of it? So it doesn't make any sense, really, basically, is what I'm saying. Like it's all of 2020 is broken into 3 fractals, and that supposedly repeats, but it doesn't repeat any time before that. From 2014 all the way to 2020, it doesn't happen. In 2020, it starts happening, and then it doesn't happen again until now. Like it makes no sense. Makes no sense.
so I guess his thought is, oh, this algo, they just started to develop it somehow, right?
I
Just
guess.
just for this one event, just for this one stock.
Yeah.
I love him to cover. Does he cover other stocks? Does
Oh
he
hell
cover
no.
GME? Does GME line up
No.
exactly with his own fractal theory?
No, he doesn't cover any other
What about
stocks. He's only been on YouTube for 3 weeks. He's been on YouTube for 3 weeks. He has almost 7,000 subscribers and
good God?
159,000 views of his videos so far. And he's got 4, 8, well, wait, how many? 12 videos. He has 12 videos. and they're all on AMC squeeze, fractal, yada, yada, yada. We broke the wedge. Yeah. He's like, um, what I think it was Manuel said that he's like the next Trey. You know, it's like overzealous, over enthusiastic, and but he's making the goals like way too lofty. Like you can't say it's gonna squeeze and go to $140 next week. It's only $6. Like that's just to anybody outside of this. That's and I don't want to say the O word, but it seems very probable that that is not going to happen. Um, but to these people who've drunk the Tang for 3 years now, they believe it, so they eat it up. 20,000 views on this video we're watching right now in one day. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, there'll be another one of those hypes, like those dates they always give. Oh, the T plus 35, the T plus 9 or 90, and whatever.
yeah, yeah. Sub says, at least he thinks people like me will run and buy AMC, but not anymore. I learned my lessons. Every one of these fractal guys are wrong. Pretty much. Yeah. That's what the evidence shows. He's a grifter. Luna's Life says he's a grifter. Also, he's doing coke. You can hear it every video. Well, how do you know that? I don't just kidding. Like what?
Wow. He has 1,000+ comments on this video.
Yeah. Oh wow. Wow. I just realized that. I guess so. Holy shit.
That's a lot of engagement.
That is a lot. A lot. A lot. Wow.
Are those bot comments or are those like legit comments? I'm gonna look
Most of
myself
them
too.
see legit. Most of them seem legit, actually. Um, there is more of a chance that it happens than it doesn't. Statistically speaking, it makes more sense of it squeezing now than it not. So this person doesn't know the difference between then and than, but they said that, there's a more of a chance that it will squeeze now. It would be a bigger deal if it didn't squeeze based on this highly detailed, accurate information. See, this is the problem. This is the problem with these clowns. Assuming that this comment is actually heartfelt and this guy is being honest about what he's saying here, this guy, he's being extremely misled here. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Oh, there's some folks that aren't drinking the Kool-Aid. If I look at the comments, this guy Yellow Snake, he's like coming back here Friday when this doesn't happen.
Ah.
I mean, really, who's going to be buying your shares of AMC if at 25, $140? Like, you think hedge funds, all these institutions, they're
Yeah.
going to be buying it? No, it's going to be retail. It's going to be folks just like the same folks who bought shares at the top at $70, $60. If you try to sell, if it ever even reaches that, it's going to be retail that's going to be buying it at the top again. It's going to be institutions that'll dump on you.
Yeah, but the problem is how
what-
retail doesn't have the money to buy it at 140. That was my point earlier. I mean, yeah, some will. Some definitely will, but I mean, I like the days of 4, 5, 600, 700 million shares of volume in a day. Those days are long gone. Well, the price was way lower, but still, I mean, I'm not buying shares of a like stock that's over. I'm not, like enough to actually make a difference in the like to cause some serious demand. I just don't see it. I mean, let's see here. But I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's going to be shorted if, anything, which it will be. It absolutely will be. That's why I said I don't understand what Stephanie was saying, like that it will, all of this stuff will kill the short thesis. Um, I, I don't think so. I think that short sellers are going to see it as extremely overvalued again, which I think most of us would agree it probably is. Um,
No, this guy has a thin skin. I'm just reading through some of his comments. But apparently he'll be he posted commented 2 hours ago. I'll be live streaming with a face cam tomorrow, moron.
oh, okay. Yeah, because he's a shill because he doesn't use a camera. It's a problem that you and I both have too. But I mean, why does it matter? Listen to what people are saying. Does it make sense? Use your brain. Think about it. And I don't want to open myself up to that, criticism. I have a face for radio, so it's just,
does it
it's not
matter
about it.
if you show your face if all the stuff you're saying is false? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Donahue
Exactly.
George shows his face, doesn't make him a lot more credible than us. Like, all the stuff he's saying doesn't make it right because he's showing his face. Like,
Did we discuss late arrival? Did we discuss billions of synthetics yet? Billions of synthetics, 1,000% cost to borrow. No, we didn't. Do the numbers on Stonko Tracker matter? Numbers. What numbers? I mean, all of them? Probably not.
why do
Well,
we keep on using that site? Like,
I don't
seriously,
know.
folks.
I know. I remember you said that in your
different
stream.
I mean,
Yeah.
I ripped into those people yesterday on my live when they're constantly using sites like garbage sites like that.
Mm-hmm. So
They're
Hey
using
Animal
also
says
one
why?
source of data too.
One source, right? So Hey Animal says why? Well, billions of synthetics, there's no evidence for. Absolutely zero evidence for that. And 1,000% cost to borrow. Well, I mean, Stonko Tracker says 385%. But if we go with the whatever the ortex guy, we can see here. Actually, right here it says 232, but if you come over to the live, it says 1,000 for maximum. We don't know how many shares, how many entities are paying that. We know absolutely nothing. We have no idea what's actually being paid. We just know that's the most, and 7 was the minimum. So the range is from 7% to 1,000%, and the average is 447, right in the middle. So how is that useful at all? I don't see it as useful. Shadow Stars, what do you think about that?
Yeah, people need to understand what those numbers are all about. So first of all, you need to understand that cost
True.
to borrow percentage. Like, people think that they're paying that percentage on a daily basis or something. That rate is, I don't know how many times it needs to be said, it's an annualized rate.
Right.
So you divide that by the number of trading days in the year.
Yep.
And remember that those rates are what retail folks, with people with regular brokerages. So if you got like a TD, you got like a Webull, you do a Robinhood, whatever, eToro, Schwab, Fidelity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
As a retail investor, those are the rates that you're probably paying. Institutions are not paying those prices. Hedge funds are not paying those prices. So you think that, oh, shorts are screwed, shorts are effed? No, they're not paying those rates. Like, it's unbelievable that people don't understand that basic fact.
Well, not to mention the fact that like, I don't know what you're going to say, but like, we're talking about Wall Street institutions who have, a lot of capital at their disposal. So, I mean, in combination with your first point about it being an annualized rate, um, that equates to like maybe a few pennies a day per share. I mean, that's nothing to Wall Street.
And the second assumption is that, okay, you borrow the share. If you buy back before the end of the day, even as a retail investor, you're not paying that 800, 900,000%. You don't
Yeah.
get charged that.
Right.
Do people not realize this either? It's if you hold over a day. And remember that this rate is variable. It constantly switching up and down, up and down, up and
Right.
down. So
Yeah.
just because it was 800% that one day you borrowed it, that rate could drop down to 500, 400, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You think that these people they're paying this 800, 900%? They've been paying that for years on end. Like, this is basic common sense. Like, there's so much, I don't know, they're stuck in their echo chamber. They have this massive bias thinking that, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're screwed. They're looking at all this money that they're burning. Oh, yeah, all their margins, their collateral is drying up. That seems to be the argument that Bigums is making. Oh, look at all these banks. That's why he's constantly
What?
tagging like anything with Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan. Like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
look at all the money that they're losing, all that collateral that they're running out of.
God.
Give me a break.
I mean, so the thing with that is you already saw the market go down a lot. You saw, like, for example, for instance, the nasdaq went down from its peak like 36% in 2022 last year. Um, but that did not cause AMC to run. So a 37% decline in one of the stock exchanges, that doesn't do it. I mean, do you really think we're going to go down another 30, 40%? I don't know. But if the first 40% didn't, why? This doesn't make any sense. Not to mention the fact that you know, short sellers have made a lot of money off this play. But you still see people over on Reddit say that they're just they're just sitting there losing money. Like, okay, no. Oh, and then also, I don't know if you addressed this in your stream yesterday or not. Um, threshold list, threshold securities list. I guess AMC is on the threshold securities list. To which I
Some
say,
more of the T plus 35 again.
yeah,
Lovely.
whoopty shit. Peter Hahn, finance professional, supposedly, said AMC was on the threshold list late June, early July 2021. After 12 days, they were magically able to get off after some very strange price action. I'm not sure they can pull the same magic again with FTX dead, 100% utilization, and the higher cost to borrow, but being cautious. March 14th is more my focus. They need to do something before that date. In any case, recent price action may reflect that.
Why is it March 14th? The record date is February the 8th. So all the shares, like, die will basically have been cast by then.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you magically increase your number of shares after February 8th, because your vote won't count if you didn't
Mm-hmm.
have the shares before that date.
Mm-hmm. Right. Um,
Like, that guy, I swear, he's another fraud.
Peter Hahn. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't
Yep.
even know if he's real. I don't even know if he's a real person, or maybe he is, and he's just a grifter. But I mean, yeah. The first time I called him out, and it got me blocked. He blocked me on Twitter because of it. I called him out in a video and on Twitter about 13Fs because he was spinning the same bullshit narrative of, oh, look, institutions are buying, they're piling in. And it was third quarter or fourth quarter, and he was looking at the previous quarter's 13Fs. And it's like, okay, no, like you can't use that. Like, it doesn't indicate that. And he blocked me on Twitter. So, I mean, that pretty much confirmed whatever my suspicions, because that's usually what people do. Okay. And Hey Animal says, well, first of all, he says, what do you guys think will be the end game? To which Badback said bankruptcy. But then Hey Animal says, so you think there are no synthetics, hedge funds are doing nothing illegal, and the market is fair for retail. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I don't think
Okay,
that's
I mean, I'll answer
go for it.
that last part of the question real quick. Market is not fair for retail. Hedge funds, institutions, they have a big major advantage because they get access to information quicker, sooner than retail. They're able to analyze that. They're able to make decisions quicker than us on that. They're able to put in orders faster than us, algorithms, etc. So it's not fair for retail per se. But to make the assumption that everything that they do is illegal, no, that's
Right.
not correct either. Yes, we play in an unfair system. Retail is at a major disadvantage compared to institutions and hedge funds, but that doesn't mean we can't make money as a retail investor.
Bingo.
Doesn't mean that you can't make good trades.
Right. Yep. 100%. And yeah, the only thing I would add to that is it just makes it even more important to, and I'm not gonna, I guess just say it because it's best. You have to do your own research, look at multiple sources, and learn from your mistakes, and not be so uh, full of yourself that you can't admit when you were wrong. That's the worst thing, and that's one reason why the apes are doomed because they are always right. It has to be the opposite. I mean, I feel like I'm usually wrong, but not always. And when I'm right, yeah, it can be very good. But um, using one source, using unsourced material, getting DD from Reddit and Twitter from people that you don't know, that who knows what their motivations are. I mean, at this point, to borrow your phrase, the die is cast. It's probably too late for a lot of people. But I mean, on this play, but the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. I've been saying this for a while. So that gives the apes a huge opportunity to learn from this and, to do things differently. Um, but, this game of telephone here with retail investors, starting with bad information and then passing it along in all these various channels, to where it gets so distorted. It was wrong to begin with. I mean, that doesn't work. I mean,
Oh,
it can work. I'm not saying it will never work, but with these momentum plays, you might get lucky once, you might not get lucky, you might lose it all. It's too risky. Um,
looks like Hey Animal is a diehard ape.
yeah, that's fine. That's okay. There has to
Um,
be
he's
somebody,
bullish on what the executives. It seems like. I
right?
also covered that in my live stream yesterday, thinking
Mhm.
that insiders selling off all their shares is normal.
Right. Yeah. Badback said that too. Stop with the pay package BS. If those shares were going to be worth anything, they wouldn't sell every opportunity they get. They're selling because they know the shares are way overvalued and the company is dead.
No, I mean, okay, I'll be fair. Hey Animal, yes, executives, their total compensation salaries baked into it. You get PSUs, you get RSUs, you get bonuses, you get awards, etc. It's all part of their total compensation. Yes, that's correct. But the fact that look at AMC's bylaws, look at their board of directors, look at what they passed last year, looking at their last Schedule 14A. What's their stock ownership guidelines? Tell me, what's that say about how many shares that a CFO needs to hold, a CEO needs to hold, an EVP needs to hold, an SVP needs to hold? Tell me do you know that? CEO needs to hold 8 times his base salary. CFO needs to hold 6 times his base salary. EVP 4 times, SVP 2 times.
Hmm.
Besides Adam Aron, look at your CFO, Sean Goodman, AMC's CFO, Sean Goodman. How many shares does he hold right now? And how many shares will he have, after including all the grants that he gets, all the vested shares he gets, those RSUs from the 2013 EIP plan from AMC.
Hmm.
Consider all the different grants he'll get for his continued service within the company. Combine that all. You combine that all, I'll tell you right off the bat, I have the numbers in front of me. 663,000 total shares,
Mm.
combining APE and AMC. If you pull up his most recent, Form
Right
4,
here, yeah.
it tells you, and that's
Down
not his
here.
most recent one,
Oh,
because
it's not.
he sold more on February.
When is this from? Oh, it's yeah. It's I guess it's not on Finviz yet. Then I usually just come
Yeah,
down
he
here.
sold like 80,000 plus more APE
Right.
shares
I
on February the 2nd.
Yep. That's right.
If you do the calculations based on today's price, all his shares, and mind you, these aren't shares that even he owns yet. This is all including future grants. That value is 3 million. His base
Mhm.
salary is 800,000 approximately. 800,000
Oops.
times 6. What is that? Over 5 million, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough shares to meet that stock guideline, ownership
Ah.
guideline. And that's a CFO of your company.
Yeah. There. Yeah. So
Look at
there's
your other
the.
EVPs.
Mhm.
Look at your Elizabeth Frank. Look at your Elliot Hamlish. Look at your general counsel, your secretary, Kevin Connor, your chief accounting officer, Chris Cox. Look at all those other folks.
Yeah.
Do they meet the basic guidelines that the board themselves, that Adam Aron so bullishly talked about on his earnings calls before, how he raised that amount?
Mhm.
No. All those EVPs, all those SVPs, they're selling their shares basically as soon as they get them.
Wow.
They've been doing that since last year, or really towards the end of 2021, so the past year and a half almost.
Yeah. Wow.
So your argument saying that, oh, executives, yeah, that's part of their compensation and nothing to worry about. No,
Right.
because you know what? I'll pull up a specific example. Sorry to make this so long, but Elizabeth Frank,
No, it's
she's your
fine.
EVP, Chief Content and Program. She's been with the company for like 10 years. She started getting shares back in 2013. From 2013 to 2021, early 2021, she didn't sell a single freaking share,
Hmm.
not a single share. But 2021 onwards, from March onwards, she sold basically everything that she had.
Wow.
So right there, your argument is absolutely dismantled. She didn't sell shares for 8 years. Not a
Hmm.
single share. All the ones that she got rid of, disposed, was due to tax withholding. Everything else she kept. She didn't sell a single share during that 8-year period. But then suddenly 2021 onwards, she sells everything.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah.
So
There's a.
how does your argument that executives, yeah, they just normally sell their shares, how's that hold true when she didn't sell a single share
Yeah.
over an 8-year period? Get out of
Right.
here, man. No offense. Like if you want to make an argument, like I got no problems. You want to bring data facts, sure, but back it
Mhm.
up.
Right.
Don't give just random generalizations. We're
Right.
talking specifically about AMC, so bring specific facts about AMC to talk about then.
So, Mr. Six Rita says, Scott, I just want your opinion on what the end goal is with this play, and what do you think will happen? Um, I mean, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And I'm not really in the business of making predictions. What we can do is look at the um, the supposed evidence that's been given over the last 2 years for the outcome that most people think will happen, i.e., the Moass, and see whether that information or that you know evidence, quote unquote, holds water, and maybe you know give a probability of is it likely, based on this information? Can we back this information up with facts? Number one. And then number two, taking all of that into consideration, what is the probability, what is the likelihood that this outcome will occur? And we've been pretty consistent in um, doing that, looking at supposed evidence like billions of synthetics. Um, why would the cost to borrow be at 1,000% if they were naked shorting AMC? First of all, I mean, I just was thinking about that earlier. If the cost to borrow is based on the demand for borrowing, wouldn't that indicate, more borrowing, more harder availability to borrow shares? That directly contradicts the narrative that it's being naked shorted, because naked shorting doesn't borrow shares. Um, there's many angles you can attack that one from. Who borrows shares? It's the brokers. It's the retail brokers. It's the prime brokers for hedge funds and institutional investors. They're the ones who do the borrow. They are the ones who look for the shares. They're the ones who say, "Yeah, we've got the shares." They find the locate. So when people are sitting there bitching about hedge funds naked shorting, first of all, even if it were happening, wouldn't be the hedge fund. It would be the broker, be the prime broker. They're the ones who have to find the shares. They're the ones who can, come back to the entity that wants to sell it short and say, "Hey, no, we can't find 10,000 shares for you to borrow. We can only find 2,000 or whatever." Um, so yeah. So looking at those things, but with an evidence-based viewpoint, does it seem likely? And unfortunately, it's no. It doesn't seem likely. Now, having said that, nobody knows what's going to happen. So the price could go higher, and we haven't, we're not sitting here saying the price is only going to go down. But are you going to have another short squeeze? Is it going to go to 10,000, 500,000, $1 million per share? All signs point to no. But having said that, does it mean that you can't make money on it? No, it doesn't mean that you can't make money. Um, but it is going to require some more trading skills than just buying and holding long shares. So, I mean, I hope that that's um, something that answers the question. But I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. Nobody knows anything really when it comes to predicting what's going to happen. That's why one reason why this cycle theory is nonsense. The notion that, I mean, what is that number one thing that brokers just tell you, that educational websites tell you, that past performance does not indicate future returns? In other words, you can't go off of what has happened in the past to predict what's going to happen in the future. Yet, this guy seems not to have ever heard that, because he's literally saying that these patterns repeat. And by the way, they don't even line up. He'll say, "Oh, it's never going to line up perfectly." Is that what you call it when one line goes up and the other one goes down at the same time? He's saying they're lining up. They're tracking. So that's garbage. Think about how much has changed in the world since 2014. Think about how much changed between 2014 and 2017, 2017 and end of 2019, and 2020 to today. I mean, you're talking about a lot of things happened there in terms of the economy, in terms of just everything, politics, geopolitics. To say that there's an algo that's controlling it and repeating it, it shows that you don't understand how stock prices move and what causes them to move. Which, yes, there are algorithms executing trade, or entering trades, but as far as there being one algorithm that controls everything, you know, no, that's not how it works. So this is garbage. It's just plain and simple garbage. I mean, and he thinks SPY is bullish right now. I mean, it's all over the place. All over the place. Let's see. Do you have anything to add to that, Shadow?
No, I think he covered it for the good part. I just want to touch upon that hey animal guy.
Go
I
for it.
think he's copping out. Hey, don't really mean to be attacking anyone per se, as you classify it, but honestly, the way that you're throwing stuff out, you're making a cop out saying that you're just asking questions. Okay, before you ask your question, have you thought of, hey, is any of the stuff I read like legit? Instead of just throwing out random stuff that you're seeing on Reddit, why don't you think about that first, then come ask that question. Think about it first. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, then ask it here.
Yeah.
Like your cop out saying that, oh, I'm just asking questions. Well, the types of questions that you're asking, and then the fact that, oh yeah, look, I did very well on Tesla calls. Well, Tesla basically went up what, like 100% over the past month, the past 30 plus days. Yeah. When the market in 2021, when the bull market was in full swing, you'd have to be an absolute moron to lose money. Like there's almost no way. It's impossible for you to lose money unless you were playing contrarian the whole time, while the market was on absolute full steam mode bull season.
Yep.
And the fact that you've been day trading AMC, like, hey, if you're making money, props to you. But you know what? Successful traders I know, people that day trade professionally, they're not day trading AMC. A lot of the times you see a lot of folks that are trading in the indices. So they're playing SPX, they're playing SPY, they're playing QQQ, etc. They're not going to be playing meme stocks, day trading that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Or they're
also,
shorting
you
it.
played Tesla calls based on what evidence? Why were you trading Tesla? What sort of catalyst were you thinking about? Or are you playing just on TA then? Then what sort of indicators gave you the signal that, oh, Tesla's going to run?
And yeah, we know that there's so much bullshit out there. That's the point of this channel, is to call these guys out, but the problem is that well, there's a lot of problems, but people have overinvested in this, and so it's become an emotional thing. And our point is like, look, it's not. There's no room for that really here. Yeah, and see, this is the kind of stuff like, okay, enjoy your 24 watchers. You guys sound like some schoolgirls. Have a great day. I mean, you're the one that came in here, asking, saying the stuff that you did. It's like, okay, um, sure, see you then. I mean, I will enjoy the 24. Are there really 24? Wow. Well, 20, I guess, 23 now. But
He's butthurt that he got called
yeah,
out.
yeah, right. I mean, it's I guess it's understandable, but I mean, look, like bad back's right, you got to toughen up. But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I love this because I've gotten this since the beginning of my channel, and maybe you have too, Shadow. I don't know. Making fun of how many subscribers I have, making fun of how many people are watching the videos, you know, sound like schoolgirls. I mean, that's nice compared to what a lot of the crap that I've taken over the last 2 years. So this is what always breaks down to with these guys. It's just these. I mean, who's the schoolgirl? Who's the schoolgirl here? You know, you're the one that's making fun of how many people are watching the video. Yeah, of course there are only 24 people watching the video because I'm outnumbered. We're outnumbered when it comes to, videos and channels. When you search for AMC, this is all you get, all this bullish nonsense that's been the same, literally the same since the beginning of 2021. So, yeah, I understand why I have 24 viewers and I'm very appreciative of everyone. So, and I've said this, I'd rather have a small number of people who actually are, getting something out of it and contributing than hundreds of people watching, most of which who don't care. And the only way you get hundreds of viewers anyway is by spouting the narrative. So, I mean, that's not an insult to me. In fact, it's not an insult at all. Um,
I mean, the moment that they start to attack you, like instead
oh
of
yeah,
actually engaging on the actual facts, like they run out. It's for them now. They're resorting to their emotions
yep,
because they can't be rational. They can't be logical. They can't talk about engage on the facts. They're like, oh, you know what?
no,
Yeah, screw you. I'm gonna attack you now.
right,
It's just,
exactly.
and you think they're mature then? They're more adult like? Please,
I
like
mean, so here's another
they're
one.
they contradict themselves.
Yep, here's another one right here.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at AMC Entertainment. Tickers
Let's
for
see if this is
AMC
real or not.
Ape. In this video, we are going to be talking about how firms are loading up on AMC stocks as they buy over $16.4 million worth of it, and how they think AMC should be worth more than $19. We're then also going to be looking at how the cost to borrow has gone over 1,000%, what that means, and AMC being on the threshold list again.
Oh,
And many
congratulations.
more in this video. So
What do you
make
say,
sure
$16 million? Oh, congratulations. That's about 2.5 million shares. Great. Or like 1/15 of the average volume. So that was the first thing I wanted to see, but I want to see what actual evidence he's using for this.
technical analysis.
He
But like I
left
said,
because
do make
Bigham's
sure
is
to
live.
stay tuned for the Sunday outlook
We may
video.
have to go over there.
So the first thing we're looking at is from Cristobal, who talked about Simplex Trading LLC is loading up on AMC call options, holding over 16.4 million worth now. Doubled their position. SG Americas hold over 1 million worth of shares too, added 240k shares. Tobin still holding also. Average cost at $19, holding 3.8 million worth of AMC stock. So we're of course seeing many firms are now jumping onto AMC, whether that's
They're jumping onto AMC, huh? Oh, I hate this site too. Fintel.
Yep, I ripped into them
I know.
yesterday.
I saw.
Can't
I
believe
saw
they're
it. It was
charging
good.
25 bucks a
Oh,
month,
I
30
know.
bucks a month for their
It's
thing.
ridiculous.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. So I guess we are starting to get 13Fs come in now.
Yep, we'll
What did he
start.
say?
I mean, the big players probably won't be filing until next week.
Right. I
Like,
think
they
next.
usually file like the last day it's due.
Right. I think next Wednesday would be the deadline, or maybe Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure, but it should. Yeah, it's next week. Some week after this coming week. The week of the 13th is Monday, so Monday the 13th that week, I believe. Right. It's 45 days, so it should be a month and a half, or roughly maybe the 14th. Then I don't know.
Yeah, 14th, 15th, and you
Yeah.
might have a couple stragglers that kind of miss it by a couple hours and they'll file it the next day and whatnot.
Yeah. So it looks like now some of these, like the NPs, I forget exactly. Maybe you can set me straight on this. Are NPs filed monthly, or because I know one of
Yes,
the
those.
okay,
Yeah, they're monthlies.
right, and that's for like certain funds, like these funds here, like VT fund for ETFs and
Yeah,
money
the
market
ETFs and
funds.
index funds,
Yeah,
money market
mutual
funds, like a lot of
funds.
them, like
Yeah,
those will
these are
file the monthly NPs.
a lot of these are mutual funds and like retirement funds and stuff like that, I guess, or at least funds with tickers or index mutual funds you can buy. So that's why there's a bunch of those. So then really the 13F start. I mean, there are some in January even. I think that ones he was looking at were from this past week. So what was it? SG America's Securities. Okay. 264,000. I mean, I don't even know. Who is SG America Securities? What do they do? I love how they just say, "Oh, institutions are piling in." Well, which institutions? What are they? Society Generale. Okay, so that's a bank, right? I mean, Societe Generale. So they bought 264,000 AMC shares. Okay, cool. Simplex Trading. Oops, not print.
They're one of the bigger players in this.
Simplex?
They hit my like the top 10 institutions that hold positions in AMC.
So they're a prop trading firm, or they're a here it says on LinkedIn, it says industry leading technology driven proprietary trading firm driving innovation and facilitating financial opportunity. Wow, that's such a mission statement. So they're a prop trading firm, but so are they a market maker? Do they function as a market maker, or I don't know.
That I don't believe so. I believe they're
They're
just a
just
literal
they're
trading
just
company.
they're just a proprietary trading firm that trades for profit, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're headquartered in Chicago. Ooh. Ooh. We know what that means. Anything in Chicago is automatically sus. Even though Citadel is no longer, or they're not headquartered there anymore. Okay, anyway, Simplex. So they got some options and they have 60. They actually reduced their position by 20%, it says.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really have that many shares from
Right.
8,200. I have the actual 13F pulled up right now from previous quarter. 8,200 shares down to 6,500. The main bulk of their holdings in the last several filings have been just mainly the calls and put options that they've been holding on to.
Yeah. So the video, the tweet from Crystal Ball says Simplex Trading LLC loading up on AMC call options, holding over 16.4 million worth now, doubled their position.
Doubled their position. What's
It
he
says
talking
shares
about?
changed percentage 60%, or 77%. But I'm not sure. Oh, isn't there a link to? I guess there's no link to. Oh, of course, that would make it too easy. There's no SEC Edgar link on there. I think the other one, what is it called? SEC.report, maybe? No. There's one that's like not the SEC that comes up and people use it. It has the SEC logo on it, but it's not actually from the SEC. You've probably seen it before.
Yeah. I think it is like
Weird.
SEC report or something.
I thought
but
it was
I haven't seen
SEC.report,
that
but
place
yeah.
file. I haven't seen updates from that place in a while. Like people used to love linking that place.
Right.
Maybe they finally got shut down for
maybe
erroneous, like using the SEC logo.
Right. Yeah. It was weird because you had to scroll all the way down and it said at the bottom, like, this is not affiliated with the SEC. Oh, okay. Simplex Trading.
If you want the actual filings, I have the links because I'm looking.
I mean, I just got to it actually, but yeah, I guess if you want to.
First link is for Q4, so the most recent one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
this is for Q3.
Okay. All right, there it is. AMC. Call, common stock, put. Okay, call 16. See, I always forget what the columns are. That's the value, and it's times 1,000, right? You got to multiply that by 1,000. Yeah. So that's where you got the 16 million. And then we could do, and that's a number of shares. So it's 5,690,600 divided by 100. That gives us the number of contracts. So it's 56,900 contracts because it's given in the number of shares. So, and and yeah, okay. So they got like kind of a, well, we don't know the strike prices. We don't know the expirations also on those. But I mean, just looking through their, the list of things here, I mean, they've got a lot of, they've got pretty much everything. So, I mean, they've got a lot of stuff in here. So is it like, oh, wow, they specifically picked AMC? Well, I don't know. Whoa. What did I just see? What did I just see? I thought I saw Hertz. Like the, I guess not. Maybe I was going too quickly. Yeah, Hertz Global Holdings. They have call options on Hertz. That's interesting. Didn't they go? No, I guess not. I know they were in trouble for a while. They're about to get delisted. All right, let's pull up the other one.
I don't know where he's getting the doubling from.
Okay.
The value from 10.6 mil to what, 16.3 mil?
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
not double.
I mean, I guess. So, right. So it was 56,000 contracts. It was 31,000 contracts. So that's not really a double. I mean, it's close to a double, I guess, but not really. And the value, right? The value only went up by like 60% or something, from 10 million to 16 million. So, right. And then puts, they increased their put holdings too. They also increased their share holdings. But I mean, not double. Now the price or the value went down, and they have more shares. How'd that happen? From Q3 to 4. That's funny. Okay. All right. Wow. I'm just seeing what Manny put in the Telegram chat. That's pretty funny. I have to bring that. I'm gonna have to show that. That's hilarious. Let's see. Nope, not that one. This one.
Oh, AMC Bigum's already got a $50 super chat from Grandpa
Are
Barney.
you serious? Oh my God. Oops. No, I'm screwing everything up here.
Oh, there's Hanno.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that guy.
I know, what a clown, right?
What a
Like,
joke.
check this
Yeah.
out. Here you go. So this is on, what is this on Bigum? This is on Bigum's stream. And we got, in the live chat here, we got, hey, animal. Who is this Alan Scott dude bad mouthing Bigums? When did I badmouth Bigums? I didn't badmouth Bigums. I mean, I did, but not today. I don't remember that today.
No, that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I'll take it. Then he would correct himself, Scott Allen. Okay. Bigums rocks. Okay. And yeah, and a $49.99 super chat. Jesus. God. What is, and you know what's hilarious too? Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to here. What did Badback say? Everybody, do you know Scott Allen Finance is live, right? You guys listening to Bigums who have never been right about anything. How do you guys give him any credibility?
Oh, there's Andrew. Andrew hates us. Andrew, friend.
Oh, really?
PC or whatever.
Oh, a lot of people hate us. I love it. It's fantastic. And then we got Bigums here already with the freaking cracked out whiteboard. Private blockchain. Look at this. Private blockchain paid ISDA. What the hell? God. Private blockchain. Okay, sure. What the fuck?
What phase is there are we on? We're on like phase like 15 now.
I guess. I mean, you don't hear too
Good
much about that
God.
anymore, though, really. You don't hear too much about phase, whatever. Um, yeah, phase 6. It's about swaps. Nobody has ever ever had brought any convincing evidence that has anything to do with meme stocks. It's ridiculous.
It's so crazy. Like people blame you, people blame me that oh we're shills, we're being paid by Citadel.
Right.
Not
No,
once have we like taken super chats.
they don't
But hey,
need.
Bigums
They
every
don't.
single time. Boss Blunts, Bigums,
Right.
etc. These folks are getting $50, $100, whatever super chats all the time from Grandpa Barney.
Mhm.
And they don't question that at all. Oh, they're just showing their passion. They just love the entertainment.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. AMC Bigums. He's got 28,000 subscribers. Let's go. Actually, Playboard has total super chat totals. AMC Bigums.
Oh, that
Super
was the
chat.
website. I forgot about what that site was that you were using. I got to
There's
bookmark.
Social Blade and Playboard. Social Blade has a lot of like just statistics about view trends, subscriber trends, and it's playboard.co. They have a lot of the same stuff, but they
Yep.
have super chat on total here. So he's made about $5,900 in total on super chat. But I mean that's a flash in the pan to Matt Cole's kohrs. I have to say it right because I can't say it wrong and type it. But he type it right. He's
I like
made
how before that
570.
you were
Yeah,
typing, you said Matt Cole, and he literally typed in
I
Matt
literally
Cole.
typed it. Yep, it happens all the time. Total revenue $577,000, and this was like he made this. He had this in 2021 already. He had $540,000 or something like that in 2021. So I mean, he's still making over $100 in some days. Coles is. Um, I don't even know who else takes it. Finance News. Guess not. Oh, Tom Nash. God, you ever watch that guy? You ever heard of him?
Oh, Mr. PLTR guy.
Yeah. Um,
Yep,
who
I've
was it?
heard him.
What's his name? Scott Schaefer exposed his real name and where he lives. I think he's in. Actually, I forget. I don't know if he's in Israel or if he's in Russia, but he's somewhere else. And Tom Nash is not his real name, of course, you know. And he really laid into him for like the whole FTX thing too, because he was a big promoter of FTX. Um, Hammer, is that it? Yeah, something like that. Right. I forget. It was yeah, it was like a really like Jewish name, Israeli name or something. But yeah, he took a lot of that FTX money, and he had a like a I guess it was a segment, a live stream where he was talking about taking money and saying shit like, "Oh, I'll say anything if they want to give me money," basically, like just indicating that he's complete chill. But yeah, PLTR, Tesla, he's, all the top like tech meme stocks, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I guess finance news isn't on there, but yeah. Oh yeah, so on the threshold
Tom Nash has made
list
a
too.
lot of backholders, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
But at least he's smarter than these folks like Bigums and
going so deep
Trey
into
and
AMC.
Matt and etc. Like they actually like read filings and stuff. Like they understand it a lot. It's just they take it one step further and they're able to manipulate the numbers. I mean, because stats never lie. The numbers never lie, but you can always change the skew of it to
Yep.
fit your narrative.
You can make a statistic. You're right. You can make it indicate whatever you want as long as you have to understand the statistic first, and then you can spin it. Or you can do something like, what was it that I saw? It was one of those companies that reported earnings. Shit. I forget which one it was. Maybe Amazon or something. And the headline that I saw on like one of my apps that gives like news, financial headlines and news and stuff. It said it wasn't revenue, because that's usually what they use. It wasn't revenue or earnings per share, because those were both down. Those were both negative, below consensus. But it was like they literally hyped like one sales, like sales figures of like one of their product sectors or something. Like it was so specific because they wanted to show, I'm guessing, I'm speculating, because they wanted to show a positive result, even though EPS was negative and revenue was negative. This one area of sales, revenue was positive or whatever. So that's what was reported in the headline. And it's like, okay, there you go. Perfect example. Revenue's down, earnings per share is down, so we can't use those. Let's find a number that's green, positive, and we'll use that in the headline. Okay. It's kind of disingenuous to me.
I mean, companies do that. Yeah, I mean, it's not I mean, all the big companies do it. So they'll find like, oh hey, this small segmentation of our company. Oh yeah, that this group. Yeah, it did 40% growth quarter after quarter and 80% year over year. Don't mind the fact that we just lost, like we're down like 60% year over year on actual like revenue.
Right.
Oh yeah, we've burned millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Yeah, just focus on this small segment that we grew greatly.
Yeah.
Similar to stuff probably what Intel probably tried to skew with.
Yeah, maybe it was Intel. I can't remember exactly who it was, but yeah.
No, it's probably Amazon. I think Amazon might have. Did they try to skew their AWS?
I think I actually put it. I think I actually posted it in an image in the chat. No, it wasn't the Tesla thing. I've got it here. I'll just have to find it in the thing. That's all stuff from today. That's man. Oh, no, that was Bed Bath and Beyond. That's Powell. Where the hell? Oh yeah, it was Amazon. It was. Amazon tops estimate. No, that's not it. That's not it. Thursday net sales. No, that wasn't it, because that's net sales. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong about it. There's a lot of stuff going on last few days, but they do it. Yeah. Oh well. He broke the wedge. Well, Bed Bath and Beyond missed payments on its bonds. That was the other day. We know that. And then the stock price went up. You think this is a lot of short covering happening these days, like in the market? I mean, I'll get into that. We'll get into that on the next stream. I'm going to take a break here, probably at about 5, and then come back closer to 6. But
for Bed Bath?
Well, yeah, for that, and a lot of the Carvana and all this kind of shit, like all the low quality, high beta meme names and retail favorites from 2021 and stuff that have recently caught a bid. The RKK suite of stocks, and it's kind of like tech in general, nasdaq.
Bed Bath, I don't see. It makes no sense for shorts to be covered. Like any of the big institutions, why the hell would they be covering their shorts? No way. I see Bed Bath more as a lot of these. There's a lot of institutions that they've basically kind of cracked the code. they even admitted that, hey, they've developed algorithms by analyzing movement sentiment on social media. When they said that they scan through Reddit, they scan through Wall Street
Yep.
bets and different subreddits to see what gets sentiment, what gets hits, what get likes and comments, and etc. They already developed those type of algorithms and trading systems back in end of 2021. So I think they're kind of using that, and they're absolutely schooling retail folks on BBBY. So they're gonna they pumped it, and they're gonna bag them again, and then get people retardedly spending money on all these super far out the money call options, and they're just gonna lose money hand over fist.
Right.
But the
So
situation, I see it different for Carvana. Carvana is that one I see a legitimate, because that thing's been being absolutely shorted to oblivion, but the price action it's seen, that's definitely a lot of like retail folks that have been shorting it. Yeah, they're getting squeezed out of their positions. It's absolutely insane. Although Carvana, to a financial standpoint, they were able to slightly better their situation. I believe they did sell off a decent chunk of their debt, those auto loans that they had. But mind you, that was also a big chunk of where they're getting their money from too.
Right.
So I mean, they kind of, a lot of people characterize it as swallowing like a poison pill. Like, yeah, it kind of helps you like short term a little bit, but long term you're kind of handicapping yourself.
Yeah. Right. Um. So speaking of shorting, I found this article. Um. And I don't know the author, so I'm not saying it's the gospel, but it just explained it in a way that I thought was easy to understand. So, um, talking about short sellers bankrupting companies, um, and the argument of this guy. This is on Medium. He says he's an algo trader, short seller, author, kite surfer, wine lover, whatever. He says it says here, short sellers cannot drive companies to bankruptcy. We can all agree that fundamentals drive share price in the long term. We often assign the success of companies to their management. For example, Steve Jobs 2.0 is the architect of Apple's renaissance. If management is more than willing to take credit for the success of the companies they steer, then they should equally be responsible for those that they run into the ground. For example, Steve Jobs 1.0 was fired from Apple. So, what were the short sellers in the board of directors doing? Nothing. They did nothing because in the history of capitalism, no short seller has ever been invited to sit on the board of any company. So if short sellers have no say in how companies are managed, then they cannot be held responsible for running them into the ground. So short sellers are convenient scapegoats for management failure. Lehman, Deutsche Bank, Valiant, Tesla, bad decisions taken by bad management impoverishes companies. Short sellers are the cicadas of the market. You don't blame cicadas for heralding the end of summer. Similarly, you don't blame short sellers for showing up because companies are poorly managed and or stocks look vulnerable. This author has personally faced anger of long holders. They invariably take the moral high ground. Sometimes price tanked after. Sometimes price rallied. You win some, you lose some, but when you allow yourself to get angry, you will lose. Does short selling cause decline in share price? Short sellers need to source borrow to short a company. Borrow comes from long holders lending their stock. Many long holders simply refuse to lend their shares for fear that it could hurt the share price. Bottom line, there is a limited supply of borrow to go around. There is roughly less than 10% of the float available for borrowing, not on all stocks, as we see with something like AMC. A rough approximation means at worst, 10% of trading volume is short selling, and I think it's way less than that. Short sellers show up with a BB gun. Example, Tesla, very heavily shorted, and price still does not go down. This article also, by the way, is from 2018. So what causes price to go down then? Long only institutions, heavy artillery when they decide to liquidate. So long liquidations, price has more than a few bad hair days. Companies take analysts with buy ratings to dinner and short sellers to court. Companies that fight back short sellers often end up getting bruised in the process. For example, Lehman and Ron Tesla. My favorite of old was white paper linked to the ultra narcissistic Dick Fold when David Einhorn took a swing at Lehman. He shrugged it off, saying he'd rip their hearts out. Now every other article about the GFC and bankers' hubris is illustrated with a picture of Dick Fold. Companies usually waste time and energy fighting short sellers. I understand these quote unquote pedo short sellers are a pain to Musk. Stop wasting time and energy fighting them. Focus, deliver the product, stop hemorrhaging cash, and they will walk away. Please don't stop tweeting, though. The farce is strong with Musk. Well, got what you wanted there. What can companies do to prevent short sellers from biting? Manage your company. We've said this. We've been saying this. You've said this. A lot of us have said this. Manage your company better, and short sellers will walk away. Best example, Herbalife. Bill Ackman's mediatic crusade with the propaganda documentary Betting on Zero hurt the cause of short selling. People associate short selling with his blows below the belt. In fact, Bill Ackman qualifies as a tourist short seller. He's usually long. He shorted the idea, not the stock, and he was blinded by ego. So, um, and I agree with it, most of this, and I've read plenty on this before about short selling and bankruptcy. You know, essentially the moral of that story, I guess, if I had to boil it down, is that companies bankrupt themselves. Short sellers, they can capitalize on that and ride that wave down. But just like a surfer doesn't create the wave, he just rides it. Short sellers, they don't create the downtrend, the wave of downtrend. They're just riding it because on the other side of that, first of all, on the other side of that short sale is somebody's buying a long position. Um, Also, at some point, the short seller is going to have to buy the share back, assuming that they don't go bankrupt. But that's a long, long way off most companies. So there is going to be some buying pressure return at some point. It might not be symmetrical. It might not be over the same time frame. Might be a longer time frame or whatever. So it's not going to be V-shaped necessarily. But nonetheless, you know, short selling. I mean, I've looked for examples of short sellers bankrupting companies. It's not really that easy to find. So, um, I mean, I don't know if you know of any examples of that, but uh, in fact, short sellers, you know, they might, in a lot of cases, it actually is very messy if a company goes into bankrupt and you're short the stock because it becomes hard to deal with the to close the position or to take profit on it. So yeah, you can keep all the money, but you might have to wait until the company's liquidated, apparently, evidently. So I'm just trying to
Yeah,
dispel
it
the
really
rumor.
depends on like how it's going to end up trading. Is it going to be is it delisted and then it's going to trade by pink slips like the OTC? Like
Right.
it all really depends.
Well,
Is it going
and
into like bankruptcy protection and like
yeah,
there's so many different things. So yeah, you don't want the company to be completely dead and get delisted per se. Like
right.
that makes it more complicated. You'd rather just ride the wave down, as you said.
Yeah, and also, just kind of even put it, zoom out a little bit more. What comes first, short selling or bankruptcy? I mean, or what, you know, not what comes first, but you know, short sellers are going to come into a stock that is overvalued, that they perceive as overvalued, or that there's fraud involved. So it's very likely that the stock will go down as these things are revealed, or justice is served, or whatever. Um, Now, all of these things are existing problems with the company that a short seller notices. Maybe everybody else doesn't, or they're bullish on it. So they're going to get into it. Um, and then whatever happens, happens. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't win, sometimes they profit, sometimes they lose. But the short position itself, I mean, essentially is the same as any other stock being sold, with the exception that it will be bought again. So there's no guarantee that if it long liquidates that they'll ever go back into the stock. So, but really it's the same, it's kind of the same effectively in the market. It's a sale on the other side of which is somebody buying it. So they get matched with a buyer. Um, but I really I can't find any examples of a company, that of the companies that went bankrupt because of short sellers. I mean, I don't even really think like the article said. First of all, there's a limited number of shares that can be shorted, a limited amount of the float, so to speak. So it's impossible to drive the market cap to zero through that. Um, and it's just like doesn't really make sense. If short sellers wanted to bankrupt every company that they shorted, then you're saying that they're trying to basically destroy the stock market by they want to take every company out, and that just doesn't make sense. And so why would they want to do it on some and not the others? And the reality is they don't. They want to make money. They want to make a profit on a declining stock, a stock that's going down for exogenous reasons particular to that company, to that sector, or some situation that's happening. But I'm so sick of hearing these people say, like Stephanie said it. That's why it was in my head on her video that they're bottom. Well, she called Antara Capital bottom feeders many times, and also that the short sellers they wanted the company to go to bankruptcy. And it's just like, well, okay, where's the evidence for that though? Like, where's the evidence?
She just
And
doesn't understand how the markets operate. I mean, you
well,
think every company in the stock market is there to just invest in they're hoping that the stock price will go up? No, the
yeah,
market is there to it's there to it'll find inefficiencies. So that inefficiency could be, is it undervalued or is it overvalued?
hmm
So short sellers have a role in the stock market. Like we need short sellers. You just can't have a situation where everything is going to be overpriced. That doesn't make sense.
yeah, right, yep, yep. Yeah, not only that, they provide liquidity as well. So, you know, um, it's an important thing. I was reading because Reddit recently rehyped, where the hell is it? I thought it was at the top, but the report that came out like in June or whatever from the Congress,
The GameStop report.
GameStop report exactly. And of course the headline on here was um, that the report said that Robinhood and Citadel illegally colluded or whatever. And I read the thing, and it mentioned that they did have conversations. So two companies that do business with each other apparently are not allowed to have conversations, and it's colluding, I guess. But it didn't say that. In fact, the report was very, very generous to Citadel because it said that all of the other market makers basically folded. They couldn't fill the orders. And if Citadel hadn't been able to fill the orders, Robinhood wouldn't have been able to fill their customer orders. So Citadel really came through. Citadel basically saved the market. We're talking about January 27th, 2021 here. That Citadel had done a lot of upgrades in the previous couple years. They had beefed up their systems and they were able to handle the trading volume and the liquidity with no issues. Unlike the other market making trading firms like Virtu and G1 and Wolverine and whatever else. They use like six, it said. So Citadel basically was the only game in town through that period. And they've reduced their payment for order flow payments by a lot. Robinhood basically said, you know, we'll take this much because they have an algorithm that normally does it. So, I mean, really, I read that. I came out of that report being like, oh, okay, yeah. So without Citadel there, it would have been actually way worse because you wouldn't have been able to fill orders. I don't even know what happens in that case. But also, which is hilarious, Robinhood was not a member of the New York Stock Exchange. So typically what would happen is if there's no market maker there to fill the order, they would just send the order to the exchange. That's what a broker would do. But Robinhood couldn't have done that because they were not members of the stock exchange. That's one of the recommendations that the Congress made. They said, uh, yeah, brokerages should have to be at least a member of one exchange for times like this, so that they at the very least last resort they can route an order to the exchange because Robinhood didn't have any connection to the stock exchange, and I don't know if they do now, but that's pretty wild. Also, I think Vlad Tenev was not a member of FINRA for for a time, and being the CEO, he should be, he should have a FINRA membership. They say, people say. So it was actually a very interesting read, but it didn't say that Citadel and Robinhood illegally colluded. It said that they had discussions about payment for order flow rebates, which seems legit. Seems like it's within their rights to do. One's paying the other one. They can't negotiate that. I don't know, but I can't seem to find it here. Uh, shit. AMC on threshold list. All right. Yay. Nothing will happen. Today, T0 Crypto informed its customers that it will be ceasing operations on March 6th, following an orderly withdrawal of assets by the customers, which continue to be held by the custodian. Okay. T0 is going out?
The way I read that is that T0 is more than a company just that does crypto, isn't it? They also do equities like securities trading, don't they?
I don't think they do like equity securities, do they? I don't know. Let's see. I know that they have like those, like that overstock, whatever, that O stock thing, digital securities, trading. I mean, as far as I know, I didn't think that there was any blockchain components
They
of
do.
the
Hold on.
equities market.
If
Uh,
you go back up, yeah,
oh,
they do regulated ATS. Okay, so secondary liquidity,
oh,
trading
okay.
private securities.
Private securities, private markets. So,
Opportunity to invest in pre-IPO companies or private equity funds.
yeah. So I don't think it's connected to the stock exchange at all, as far as I know.
Yeah, so I mean, so they're just shutting down their crypto
The
portion of the
crypto,
company.
the
It
crypto
seems like,
portion of the company, right?
yeah,
Privately
but I
negotiated
don't know
trade,
how large of a portion of the company is that. That I don't know. I never
right?
really looked into what this T0 company did, but yeah, seems to be the whole big hoopla.
Yeah. Investment opportunities.
The only T0 I was really familiar with was the settlement, the instant settlement, the T
Right.
plus 0.
I don't think that'll happen, but I think we'll get T+1 sometime soon. Soonish. I know they talked about that in the report too, actually. So they reduced it in, I think it was in 2017, went from 3 to 2. Now we're on 2, and they want to go to 1, which seems like they should be able to
I
do.
mean, option settlement's already 2 plus
Option
1.
settle, yeah, option settlements overnight. If you're on a cash account at least, which is great, it's awesome. But on my margin accounts, it's still 2 days, I guess. I think. I actually don't know. I never really, because it's margin, so I never worried about it. But yeah. So there is there is that Boston exchange box, which is it's automated. It's automated, but I don't think that it has. I don't think that it's. I mean, it's not blockchain. I know it's somehow different, or it's basically, I don't know. It's automated. I mean, everything's automated now, though. I mean, so
Once everything's a zero settlement, if it's instant settlement, like
that would be
the amount
crazy.
of like liquidity, like wow.
Oh yeah, right. Be okay. This is what I remember seeing. Boston Security Token Exchange. Um, it's a subsidiary of the BOX exchange. BSTX will launch in the second quarter. This was 2021 or 2 here. I don't know if it ever did. B is building the first blockchain integrated security national securities exchange. Less friction, more trading. T plus 0 settlement. I don't know how that's possible though, because the market is T plus 2. How does that, and it says it is powered by T0 technology, like the exchange,
Oh,
T0.
ouch.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Oh, listings. I mean, initial listing standards. Like, I don't understand if this is like, well, maybe the frequently asked questions will have something. Fully automated price time priority execution system for the trading of certain equity securities, including exchange traded products. Why does the industry need a new exchange? The current system is far too difficult to navigate and often too expensive. So let's create more complexity by adding another exchange. I don't get that. Creating a path for companies to publicly list their shares that is less convoluted and with less friction. So maybe it'll be like sort of self-contained, I guess. I don't know. Um, it will
You
be a
would still
facility.
need to file like the regulatory forms. Like
Yeah,
you
because
still need to get SEC approval to
right.
list and do IPOs and stuff. So I guess
Yeah,
they charge a lower fee. Is that the only difference?
I guess. Securities traded on BSTX will generally be required to be registered with the SEC under both Sections 12 of the Exchange Act and 6 of the Securities Act. It will be a primary listing market. Um, proposes that certain order and execution information relating to trading activity would be recorded by a private permission-based blockchain accessible through an application program interface available through the internet. There are no affirmative actions that a BSTX participant must take to provide information to BSTX market data blockchain. Rather, the blockchain captures trading activity that occurs on the exchange in the normal course of business and is made available to BSTX participants and non-BSTX participants as an additional resource they may choose to use in their discretion. Okay, so it's like time and sales, but on a blockchain? That's what I'm getting out of this.
I don't know. They're not making it less convoluted. They're making it more
Yeah,
convoluted.
it's what I say too. They propose a mechanism for accelerated settlement T plus 0 or T plus 1 of securities transactions on the exchange under certain circumstances, consistent with the authority and functionality that the NSCC and the DTCC have today as registered clearing agencies. They proposed that participants will be able to indicate a preference for settlement on the same day or next trade day. Any orders sent indicating T0 or T1 preference would be able to interact with any other order against it, which it is marketable with a default settlement time of T+2. However, if an order marked with I mean, yeah, this is not less complicated. It's ridiculous. It's like, yes, this, and this, but not if this. How will securities clear? It will settle and clear in accordance with the rules, policies, and procedures of registered clearing agencies. Securities that are listed on BSDX would be securities that have been made eligible for services by DTC, and that DTC would serve as the securities depository. We would be transmitted to NSCC for clearing. I mean, of course, they have to be if it's a national market security. I don't really see the point, to be honest with you. I don't really get it. But I don't really get blockchain and crypto anyway. So, I mean, I get it. I understand it, but I don't think there's an application which has made it a necessity. So, who's going to use this exchange? You know, like there's 16 other exchanges, and most of the shit's off exchange anyway at this point, which, you know, could be argued as better or worse. I mean, most people argue it's better actually, for retail investors. It's collapsed the spreads, but why would anybody use this? I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. Like, is it like driving an electric car? Like, you think it's I mean, and I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, but you believe in electric vehicles, so you buy an electric vehicle. Most people aren't using them. It's unlikely that everybody will go to them, but you want to do your part, or you want to feel better about, you know, the fuel that your vehicle uses or something. I don't know. But why would anybody use this exchange? I don't know. Are the prices going to be any better? I don't know. Sub says, Scott and team, thank you. Have to go out and buy some bread for breakfast. Breakfast or boyfriend? Anyway, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to wind down here. So Shadow Stars, you got anything? Closing out this stream
No.
and going to come back on futures at 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta make some dinner and then I'll be back.
All right, sounds good, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Catch you in a little bit.
Thanks for having me on. Yep.
Anytime. See ya. Okay. All right. Yes, sub has the boss. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good luck with the bread. We're going to close this stream down, go take a break, and come back around 6 for the futures opening. It's going to be a good one, I think. I have a feeling. I hope. Maybe it will. Maybe. So, with that said, let's find somebody to play us out here. Got to be something short. You know what? I got it. I know what it is. While I'm queuing this up, the link to the finance chat on Telegram is in the description. That's a Telegram group chat that a lot of us here are in. We would love to have you. So click the link, join it. It's not a scam. And here we go.
Okay, I need the price to go up. Like very soon, I can't take this anymore. I'm checking price and it is low.
Lower.
Every hour, check price, bet price. I can't take this anymore. I have over invested
by a lot.
I need the price to go up already. Can they do something?
All right, see you guys in a little bit.